What up, everybody? No intro, no fanfare, no title yet.
Yeah, it's not like we've had any time to prepare for possibility. We've been talking about this Harry Potter stream for months, it seems. We still don't have a title for it. No intro, no nothing. We didn't even get a thumbnail until about 15 minutes before the stream. So seems appropriate.
Perry's a genius. Perry is a genius. He can whip those things together pretty quick. So yeah, this is a starter Harry Potter stream for a lot of reasons. We're going to kind of set up kind of the two most unlikely Harry Potter fans on the planet, I would say.
Possibly. There's a chance. At least I have like a very good excuse because I feel like my age group was the specific target demographic for Harry Potter when it came out. I don't know about you, Gary. Maybe you just got out of prison and you were looking for something to dive into and you became a Harry Potter fan. I don't even know. But yeah.
Oh, we'll talk about it. I think I have a decent excuse. I don't know if it's great or not, whatever. You guys, you guys will be the judge. But yeah, we're gonna give our talk about how we became Harry Potter fans. We're gonna definitely talk about the audiobooks. We just finished Prisoner of Azkaban, really fucking good. And we're gonna talk about the show, the good, the bad, and then maybe you guys can help us with titling the show. Because the thing is, Harry Potter's been around for a while. So all the really good names have kind of been taken. And then tell the story of what the name you had.
Yeah, it's like either there's so many Harry Potter channels. So a lot of good names have been taken. Or there's so many Harry Potter fan fictions out there that there's a lot of things that have been taken. So I was like racking my brain. I'm terrible with titles as it is. I've had streams go for 6 years that I have no title for, right? So I thought, you know what? Marauders and Mudbloods. That's kind of cool. Alliterative, two Harry Potter things. And then so I looked up, I was like, does anybody have something called that? And it's like this gay fan fiction where like Sirius and James are butt fucking or something. You know what I mean? So,
Jesus Christ.
So it's like, okay, I guess we probably shouldn't use that one, but we do need help from the chat. We need some help. And
we do.
Like, although it would be, the Bigots of Azkaban or the Chamber of Bigots, that is funny. We're looking for something that is a little more, hey, this is a Harry Potter show. So we'll figure it out. Death Eaters and Dementors, someone says. Yeah. Purebloods and Patronuses. I don't know. Something. I don't know why I'm stuck on the alliterative notion, but
I have no idea why.
There are a lot of Harry Potter characters who are alliterative, like Severus Snape, Minerva McGonagall. Yep. Like we do have a lot of those. Helga Hufflepuff, Rowena Ravenclaw, Godric Gryffindor, Salazar Slytherin, over and over again.
Over and over again. Well, it's like early comic books. Peter Parker, Bruce Banner, Reed Richards.
Sticks with you.
Yeah, it does.
It does. Speaking of that, is it like... It's always strange to me, the idea of how committed Hogwarts professors truly are to what they're doing. Because to the best of our knowledge, none of them have families. None of them are married. All of them basically live at the castle for, 8-9 months at a time. I guess Snape goes down to Spinner's End randomly, in his off time. But it's weird because in the magical world, it wouldn't even be that big. They wouldn't have to live there unless you're on like night duty, unless you're doing whatever. You got the flu network. Just go back to your house, spend time with your family. But none of them have families. They're all, and a lot of them are like McGonagall has like a tragic backstory with like the man she fell in love with who then dies or something like that. I don't know. A lot of tragedy in the wizarding world.
Oh yeah. That's the third book. It's all tragedy. That's what makes it so good though. But like, where does Dumbledore take a dump? Where does he take a Dumbledore?
Well, I mean, I think he takes a dump in the room of requirement.
Oh yeah, he did talk about that.
I think he talked specifically about pissing, but yeah, he could take a dump there too.
Yeah.
Well, there's also like JK dropped that random lore one time where she's like, yeah, before pipes, wizards just, crapped on the floor and then vanished it.
Oh.
What
if they transfigured it?
Yeah, where do vanished objects go? Into non-being? which wherever that is, I like to think that there's just like one random space in the world that all vanished objects actually go. And maybe that is the room of requirement when it opens up to all the hidden things. Maybe that's where all the vanished objects go.
Maybe.
Good a place as any.
Yeah, I have thought about that. I have not ridden Hagrid yet, Taker 610, but I will. I will ride Hagrid.
You
for
didn't
sure.
You haven't yet?
No, both times we went, it was just too long of a line. I am not a big on standing for 4 hours.
Neither am I, but
Yeah.
they recently added a fast pass to the Hagrid's ride at Universal, which makes it way easier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that typically it's like a 2-hour wait for that all the time. So
Yeah. So I became a Harry Potter fan through my kids. So I had heard of it because it had started popping up. I was in my first marriage. So I think I saw the first movie with the last wife. And and I'm like, whatever, like didn't think much of it. And then it was a couple of years later, and the kids got in the picture, and we started when they got older, we started reading the books to them and going to the movies with them. And I started getting into it like way more than the kids did. My kids are still into it, but like I kept it going. So that's how I got into it. And through people at work at the comic shop. We talk about Harry Potter as much as we would about comics.
it was wild when those last couple books came out. The amount of in kind of pre-modern internet era. Obviously, internet was still around and everything, but like when Half-Blood Prince came out and you had people spoiling it in the parking lot and stuff for
Yes.
people that were waiting in line. Do you remember somebody snuck into the warehouse and like took pictures of
Yes.
the Hollows before it released and were like uploading this? And this is like in an era where people didn't care as much about spoilers, but those things were huge at the time.
Yeah.
For me, like my mom was one of those people who like during that time and Harry Potter was first coming out and some churches were like, I don't know, witchcraft, whatever. So I was not introduced to Harry Potter until I was in school. I think in sixth grade, language arts or reading class or whatever, we read Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. And we listened along to the audiobook as we read it in class. And I loved it. I thought it was freaking awesome to the point where I went out, like made my mom get me Chamber of Secrets after that. And then I think Prisoner of Azkaban was just about to come out. So the first two, I still have my original, like the soft covers for Sorcerer's Stone and Chamber of Secrets. And then all the rest of the hard covers because I was getting them as they were coming out for Prisoner. Then obviously the movie came out in 2001. So it was just kind of like, it was like the perfect time for me to like get in. And I feel like it was like intended to age up with me basically. Cause I would have been 9 years old in 97, 10 years old in 98, like in that area. So yeah, I don't know. I just fell in love with the world and obviously the characters and stuff. And here we are today. And I still re-listen to the books once or twice a year. And obviously when a full cast audio book comes out, I'm all over that.
Yeah, I think that's the unique thing about this series is unlike George R. R. Martin, she got her books out on time. And in doing so, she built a brilliant world. And she is a woman who knows how to write men, which is rare, like really rare. And I mean, Harry Potter in a lot of ways, just in characteristics, is like Peter Parker. He's a lot like Peter Parker. And bad things happen, but he remains like this really solid, good person, who is capable of temper tantrums and going off once in a while. It's very similar to early Peter Parker, not what's going on now. But it being published as your generation grew up that's why it's the millennial Star Wars, just without a doubt. And it's probably going to last longer now at this point. We'll see. But it
Yeah.
really did grow up with that generation. And as it grew up, the first two books are straight up children's books. And then it gets, I'm not going to say they're straight up like adult books, but they get more mature as they go on and much darker. And and it was, the first one is, let's beat Voldemort and with a chess game, and then it's like everybody's fucking dying. It's
Yeah, now
like
it's everyone's dying and you have to die. You have to kill yourself. Like you have to accept that death is part of life
yeah,
in order to defeat Voldemort. And it is and like it's common for, and I think it's probably the right way to do it because you do have a target demographic when you're making these books. You could say the same thing about, say, the Percy Jackson series or whatever.
mhm,
Those books kind of mature a little bit as you go with them, but this one was very definitive. They get more complex, they get more complicated, and I think part of that is J.K. Rowling building out the world more as well. Um, you know, I'm not going to sit there and say that I think J.K. Rowling is like, oh, she's just the best writer of all time. No,
no,
I wouldn't say that. But she does a great job of giving you characters that you care about. I do think she's a pretty good, like the thing about all the Harry Potter books for the most part is they're all mysteries at
yep,
its heart. And that's what kind of keeps you engaged with them. And when you have bad adaptations of the movies, or maybe soon to come the TV series, it's when they kind of lose track of what these really are. Like they are mysteries at the end of the day, set in this fantasy world, but that's kind of what keeps you going. And you need red herrings for those things. You need
mhm.
clues that do lead you to the right place, but you also need a lot of stuff to throw it off so that when you do your rereads, you can see what's written between the lines, but obviously it wasn't clear to you that first time that you read through it.
Yeah, and there's actually a lot of that, and that's why they had great rereadability, and that's why they've lasted this long and captured a generation and defied a pretty violent mob out there who's been trying to cancel this she billionaire? She's got to be a billionaire.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
gotta be.
yeah.
What's your favorite book?
Hmm, that's a tough one. It's between Goblet and Order of the Phoenix for me.
Okay. For me, it's between Goblet and Half-Blood Prince.
Okay.
Like when I was reading them originally, Goblet, my favorite, no doubt my favorite. Probably still is my favorite on 60% of days. But I love Half-Blood Prince so much. Um, I do think I will say as I've gotten older, I've appreciated Order of the Phoenix more and more every time I do a read through. Because I feel like I feel like when that book first came out, it was so big and girthy.
Yep.
And it kind of
Ladies.
like they're setting up so much stuff that you're even unaware of until you kind of get to the last books in order. Like whether it's the Horcrux, whether it's Sirius's family, like they're setting up so much when you're sitting there at 12 Grimald Place. But in the moment, you're like, okay, let's go. Because that book takes like 12 chapters before you even get to Hogwarts. And
Yep.
then it's another like 8 chapters, and you're still the first 2 weeks at Hogwarts. And it's unlike every other story we've had where, yeah, sometimes Harry under threat of death or sometimes bad things happening on the run. Yeah, sure. But he's back in Hogwarts and it's a good time and it's fun. It
Yep.
is not fun. Order of the Phoenix is not fun at all. And it basically is not fun the entire fucking book.
No, Harry's in a bad fucking mood the entire book. He goes on trial. And I remember the criticisms of it. And I'm like, no, I fucking love it. For one, Dumbledore takes on Voldemort. It's fucking that's fucking badass. But you get more serious and like he's my favorite character because he's got the most tragic story, like beginning to end. It's just fucked up what happens to that guy. But yeah, I like the fact that it was longer. I like the fact that it was way more in depth, and it really presented just the idea of Voldemort as like this really menacing thing, right? Because she took her time bringing him back. The book we're going to talk about was like really setting up the pieces for that, and while Harry still won in the end in the most unlikely way, but he didn't, you know, and he even acknowledged that, even though Dumbledore tried to cheer him up about it. But how many things could have been different if Lupin hadn't become, we'll talk about it in a second, a werewolf at that time, and how many people would have lived if they had just gotten Peter when they could have. And you see the repercussions of that in Order of the Phoenix.
The thing is, I think there's a couple kind of rules that you need, like, that you kind of like have to stand fast to, I guess, when you're like looking at the world. And I'm pretty convinced that even if they had captured Peter and Sirius is vindicated and all these things happen, there is still another person out there who would actually fall into Trelawney's prophecy for the servant of Lord Voldemort to return. And that would be Barty Crouch Jr.
Yep.
Like when you think like the 12 years in chains or like whatever this thing is, Harry thinks that that's about Sirius. In reality, it's about Peter Pettigrew. If you do the math, it also works out for Barty Crouch Jr. If you take the years in chains, not necessarily to mean his time in Azkaban, but his time under the Imperius Curse under Barty Crouch. So I'm a pretty firm believer that that prophecy, even though we get to, not all the prophecies come true, blah, blah, blah. I think that if we hear the prophecies, you kind of have to assume that they're going to come true. So I think even if it happens, something else takes place to wake Barty Crouch Jr. up out of that. And whether that's a daily prophet that says Sirius Black vindicated Peter Pettigrew in chained, and that's what wakes him up or whatever, I still think Barty Crouch Jr. like has a role to play. So who knows though? Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think. Would you say the general consensus is Goblet for everybody's favorite, or do you think do you think it's different?
I think that I would say that would probably be what most people say. I think maybe Half-Blood would be a next one, then Prisoner. Yeah, something like that. It would be interesting to see a poll about that. But for me, that's why I hated the Goblet of Fire movie so much, because it's a shitty adaptation.
It's terrible.
Is it fun? I guess it's very fast paced. It's very chaotic. It's very frenetic. But in terms of an adaptation, you miss out on so much. And maybe they should have split it into two. But no Ludo Bagman, no Winky. If you're paying attention, Barty Crouch Jr. is Mad Eye. Like it's not a shock. Like, especially you have a very recognizable actor that appears at the beginning with Voldemort, that appears at the Quidditch World Cup, that appears in these flashbacks. It's like, how can you miss that? And that was one of the great things about Goblet, were all the different red herrings that were taking place. And when you reread it, when you're listening to Mad Eye, who's really Barty Crouch Jr., the amount, like almost everything he says is double speak.
Yes.
It's all true from what he's saying, but you're interpreting it through somebody who is this great aura, this great dark wizard catcher. But in reality, it's Barty Crouch Jr.
Yes.
Who honestly, like, I feel like Barty Crouch Jr. could have been, if he had not got the Dementor's kiss and found some way to escape, he would have been a problem. I feel like Barty Crouch Jr. Of the people that we know that got 12 OWLs or whatever, Barty Crouch Jr. is super brilliant, obviously can think on the spot really quick, the way he's able to, fool everybody. Clearly a talented Occlumens and everything like that, to be able to prevent Dumbledore from seeing through him. Like, that dude is, of all of Voldemort's minions, Barty Crouch Jr. probably best of the best, other than Snape,
Yep. Oh, absolutely. And he wanted to get any Death Eater that went free,
Yeah. He's maniacal. He's evil.
Yep.
If only he'd be allowed to just kill Harry, man, things have been a lot easier for Voldemort.
It would have been a lot easier. Voldemort, his own worst enemy. In more ways than one. But yeah, I do like Order of the Phoenix quite a bit. And I like the movie too. I think the movie's all right. Cuts out a lot too, but
that's the shortest movie.
That's so weird. It's the shortest
longest
movie.
book, shortest movie, and still a relatively solid adaptation. I like the Order of the Phoenix movie.
You know, Prisoner of Azkaban, I think, is the best made movie. Alphonse Cuarón's directing is fucking brilliant in it. John Williams, his soundtrack is like, dude, that's still peak John Williams. And while listen, I think it's a solid adaptation too. I think it's pretty good. I at the time it was not considered. And I'm like, well, wait till Goblet of Fire comes out. You know, you might appreciate it a little more. But yeah, I think that's the best made movie out of all of them. I'd say the most accurate to the book is probably Sorcerer's Stone. Or no, not so Chamber of Secrets. Chamber of Secrets. Yeah.
Chamber is so long and is basically everything. And they get the advantage of in that one, you get the advantage of not having to do the world building that Christopher Columbus did in the first, right? Because you have to be completely introduced to the wizarding world, introduce a lot of these mechanics, all that stuff, the characters. You don't have to do that for this one. You can just spend time on the story. And yeah, I think Chamber is the best adaptation, but you know, it's also still, you're in that, like, they're 12 years old. It's still a childish book, even though you're dealing with some pretty crazy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, as bad as, I don't know, man. Half-Blood Prince is a pretty bad adaptation too.
It is terrible. Half-Blood Prince is an awful adaptation. And that's what Goblet and Half-Blood are my two favorite books and my two least favorite movies. Half-Blood is horrible. That's when they start going full sepia tone with the entire thing.
Dude.
The romance with Ginny is completely screwed. And that sucks because if you just watch the movies, you're like, wow, Harry probably should have been with Hermione. And I don't agree with you. I don't disagree with you. You just watch the movies because just the way that they played Bonnie Wright and Daniel Radcliffe off each other. And I don't know if it's David Yates who doesn't know what he's doing. I don't know. It was awful. Like, it did not work.
David Yates did a good job with Order of the Phoenix, and then they stuck with him for the rest of the time. The problem with David Yates is he's very mute. So if you listen to interviews with him, he's a muted guy, and it comes across in his films. They got quieter and slower and more deliberate, and the music until the last two, the guy doing the music wasn't very good. And you're right, that sepia fucking tone on Half-Blood Prince, it was such, and it was dark. You couldn't see shit in half the movies he was doing. It was like he was directing Game of Thrones. But
in some levels, I'm okay with it because
on some stuff,
I'm okay with actually the general idea of the movies as you go on getting darker, because the truth is it does get darker. Harry starts off just this completely whimsical journey into this incredible world. A kid who thought his life was absolute shit all of a sudden walks into something and realizes there's so much more out there. But over time, he's weighed down with all of these things that are going to be on his plate. So, like, in theory, I'm kind of okay with even like the cinematography getting darker and darker as you go on. But it became, they should have started here and gone here. Instead, they started here and went here from how dark it looked.
It got crazy. And then just how slow the fucking movie was. Half-Blood Prince. It was just slow and boring. And then you heard their decision why they didn't put the battle at the end. Because we didn't want to do another battle. There'll be a battle at the other. It's like, oh yeah, it's Peter Jackson should have just gone, we were going to do battle at Pelennor Field, so like we should probably not do the battle of Helm's Deep. It's like, it's a dumb move. And a lot of people were bitching about it, and they should have.
And I guess kind of back to the mystery. At the core, like, of Half-Blood Prince, the big mystery in the Half-Blood Prince is who the fuck is a Half-Blood Prince? And Half-Blood Prince or Advanced Potion Making book get mentioned in virtually every chapter of that book. And I'm pretty sure you go an hour and a half in the movie without it being mentioned at all. And
they don't do enough Voldemort flashbacks, in the pensive.
Mm-hmm. You don't get the Gaunt House. You don't get a lot of that stuff, that's why Half-Blood is one of my favorites, just because all the extra stuff you learn about Voldemort.
Yep.
And yeah, and especially because Harry has very good hunches, right?
Yep.
Harry has very good hunches. And the idea that his hunch about Draco was completely spot on the entire time.
Yep.
And his always hunches about Snape that he finally let go of. and then he sees Snape kill Dumbledore. That kind of rocks his world. Then the idea that this book, the Half-Blood Prince, who he had like almost become a friend to him, right, is actually like his mortal enemy effectively. That
Yes.
throws him through a loop. So like there's just so much good stuff that I feel like they missed out on
Oh,
that
totally.
opportunity in the movies.
And
And I
maybe
don't know what the hell that thing was, like the Weasley's house burned down or some shit.
yeah, like they needed an action set piece. And it's like, and that's what you picked?
Could use it at the end, huh?
Yeah. Instead
I
of
would have
just
loved seeing Death Eaters going crazy, and there's some things I'm cool with. I'm cool with Bellatrix being there
yeah.
at the tower because she's played awesome, right? Bellatrix is great in
Yeah.
the movies, so I'm fine with different changes, but actually have the battle. Give us that battle. Like, let us watch Harry step over a bloodied Bill Weasley and wonder who the hell just died. Like, come
Yeah.
on.
It was a good battle too. In the book, it's really good. It's brutal.
One of the images that like sticks out in my mind is when Harry is like taking shortcuts and like getting through the castle, and he's like sliding around corners because his sneakers are slick with blood of somebody like that's
Yeah.
laying in a corridor, like as he's racing through the halls. And yeah, I do. I love Half-Blood. But I'm excited for the full cast audiobooks when we get to those points, because I think as we've noticed with the full cast audiobooks, the more characters are getting added, the better the books are. Because instead of someone just reading and you just get like basically Ron, Hermione, and Harry is your only dialogue people, like when you get everyone yelling in the Shrieking Shack, it just really gives you the feeling that you're there with the full cast books, you know?
No, it was great. That's another thing I liked about the book Order of the Phoenix and the movie is they showed you adult magic. So you just seen like kids training, and then I was curious, like, how are they going to pull this off? Like, because it's supposed to be really dangerous, and I'm like, oh, they did a good job. They made it like look really dangerous, and it's not all like dragons coming out of your fucking wand. It's just taking like kill shots. It's like basically firing a gun. And I thought they did like, especially that scene in the Ministry of Magic, and Bellatrix is like flying around going, and they're all, and it's like that panning shot of they're all dueling each other. That was fucking awesome. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and it's tough because like everybody, and we know that there's nonverbal spells, but then when it just becomes everybody just like flinging your wands and you don't know what spells are which and like all of that stuff going on, it does feel very different from the book, the way that
where they have to, yes.
But it does look very seamless from like a visual standpoint. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that didn't bother me, but yeah, you would have to like Sectum Centra. You would have to like say your spell quick,
Right.
like Hermione does a couple times. The audio book that we just finished, I'm liking them a lot. I think I had trouble at first because I just had expectations in my head that it was going to be like a regular full cast audio drama, which is different than what this is. This is a full cast audio book. So an audio drama has little to no narrator, and it kind of just lets the sound effects and language paint the picture for you. It's theater of the mind. This one is the narrator is reading the book, and then you have the cast come in doing basically all the dialogue and some background incidental noises and stuff. And once you get used to it, it's really fucking good. Like it does for one, the narrator doesn't suck. That always helps. She's pretty good.
Cush Jumbo, I think is her name.
Yeah, she's got a good voice for narration, right? So it's not annoying. And most of the cast is pretty great. And maybe the people who have only seen the movies, if you listen to this or if you eventually watch the TV show, unless they change something drastically, Ryan, people will see like how much Ron Weasley was robbed in the movies. Like,
he's done so dirty,
dude. He's Sam. He's Samwise. Hermione gets a bunch of his lines for one, and a bunch of his stuff, or they just cut stuff out, which is unbelievable because Ron is so important to the story, and the kid playing Ron's great, like in these books.
Yeah, and I think that like Ron as a character, like he has a tough life in terms of like his position, because not only is this somebody who like one of the very first things we know about Ron Weasley is that he's got a bunch of brothers, and all of them in some way are, they either stand out or they're successful or they're good at sports or they're popular and funny. And he feels like no matter what I do, I'm always going to be overshadowed by my brothers. They've already done this first. Like that's one of our first impressions of Ron on the Hogwarts Express when he starts speaking it with Harry. And then, of course, who does Ron Weasley become best friends with? The only dude who could outshine all of his brothers, the chosen one, Harry Potter, who's massively popular, the best Quidditch player, the teacher's pet, Dumbledore's pet, like all of this stuff. And that's a tough thing for anybody to go through, but especially anybody who's used to being overshadowed. And that's just like something that's sitting there. And it's why the Locket affects him so much. It's why the Locket is like trying to talk about Harry and Hermione, like, because that is Ron's, like, he feels that way. He truly feels like he is going to be the odd person out all of the time, whether it's in his family or not. And for him to be such a good friend to Harry, maybe not all times. There's a couple
some bumps in the road.
There's some bumps in the road, but overall, when he needs to be there, he's there 100% and has Harry's back. And you just mentioned the audiobook in Prisoner of Azkaban, and you know the fact that Ron on a broken leg with Sirius Black looking like he's going to murder him, that he stands on that broken leg, gets in front of Harry and says, "If you want him, you're going to have to kill us first." Like Ron gets done pretty dirty in the movies.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, he just looks like a crying little whelp in the movies, right? And I just think he's great. And this is the book Azkaban, which we just finished, is the book where things start turning. We're kind of laying the foundation of Voldemort's return, and bringing up the backstory of Harry's dad and the Marauders, Lupin, and Sirius Black, and their relationship with Snape. And they start planning this great world building, by the way. And it really does kind of flesh the story out and make it so much deeper. But I think it's where it really starts maturing a little bit, basically, and they don't really win in the end, at all. It's really tragic what happened to Harry's parents, but it's setting up the tragedies to come. So many tragedies, like Lupin. Poor Lupin's like the nicest guy in the world, and he's a werewolf. Everybody fucking hates him. He can't get a fucking job. But he's got like these 3 friends who are willing to become animagus, difficult magic, by the way, so he wouldn't be alone. Right. And there's something like really cool about that. And there's something eternally sad about Lupin, and voiced by Ramsay Bolton.
Ramsay, I don't remember the actor's name, but it's Ramsay freaking Bolton who plays Lupin, which is like, just hearing his voice, I'm like, Harry, you got to get out of that room. You know what I mean? Like, there's something about hearing. There's a lot of Game of Thrones alumni in this full cast audiobook. Kit Harington plays Gilderoy Lockhart. He's amazing.
He's so good.
He's amazing. But Lupin is a great character, and also a character who I feel gets done a little dirty, not just because he dies and like all this other stuff, but like,
he gets done dirty.
One of the most frustrating things about Goblet of Fire, when Harry's going through all this stuff, his scar hurts, he's worried about the task, he's worried about all this, and he's like, I really got to talk to Sirius about this. You talked to Sirius for like 15 minutes, and he was basically a crazed lunatic for most of that time. Lupin helped you for a year. Lupin, your defense against the dark arts teacher, Remus Lupin, who was one of your father's best friends. You know him very well, and he's not on the run from authorities. Send him a damn owl, Harry. I think Lupin will help you out in the Triwizard Tournament. But I do love Lupin, obviously. And one of the things when I was listening to this, there are so many little nitpicks you can have with the world when magic exists, but how does he have like patchy cloaks and stuff when you can just reparo that shit? You know what I mean? Is there
Maybe
a
he just
limit
doesn't
to
give a
magic?
fuck.
Can you
Maybe
only
he's like
repair
you with
something
the
a couple
floor of your
times?
room. Maybe he just doesn't care.
Maybe.
Maybe. He's
Maybe
like
that's the case.
he's like Asmongold. He's like, whatever, I am what I am. No, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I know they're trying to show that he's a shabby guy and he's always sick and but he's not a werewolf all the fucking time. That's the other thing. It's like he's got a month to recover. I mean, women pull it off, well, sometimes. But
That's true. Uh
no, so
let's get
okay. So I understand. I understand what you're saying about like I totally agree. I think like Lupin is as much family to him as Sirius, but Sirius is the godfather. And I think Harry probably knows deep down that if he asked for help from Lupin, Lupin's kind of a straight edge. And he'd go, I can't interfere, Harry. I'm sorry. This is your tournament. You gotta and Sirius is like, fuck it, I'll break rules. Let's go.
That's true.
So
That's true. But yeah, I mean Lupin and like you talk about Sirius being a tragic character, and he is. I think Lupin is the most tragic. Like this is somebody who
well, yeah.
never really feels like he belongs in a world because he kind of doesn't. He is a werewolf, like for one. And then the couple friends that he does have, a couple years out of school, they're all gone. They're done. It's
one's
over.
dead, one's he thinks is dead, one's in for murder, and then he finds out that one of the 3 friends he had in this world wasn't his friend, was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And then put his other friend away. Like it is pretty fucking sad.
It is. And then not only that, but obviously because he knows what he is, he's so hesitant to accept that someone can love him or that world would be okay when him and Tonks have a relationship. And then for him to finally do that and then get scared because of his child and then have Harry react the way he does when he wants to help them. And for all of that to come back and for him and Tonks to die, just another group of people that die for Harry. It's brutal. Like Lupin is a fantastic character and it is a very depressing character, but I love Lupin.
Yep. Absolutely.
We also get introduced to Trelawney in this book. What do you think of the voice for Trelawney?
I thought she did a pretty good job. I've always heard what's her name from the movies?
She does a great job. Yeah.
She does a great job, but like this one's a little different, but it works. And this you know what? She's a little more hoity than God, what's the name? I should know her name.
She's a famous actress, actually. Yeah.
Famous actress, and my brain is just not working. Emma Thompson, thank you. Emma Thompson, I think, embodies the character. But what the voice actress does in this book is make her more hoity, make her much more confident. Like Emma Thompson's is this one is like, no, I know my shit. And she's a complete fucking idiot. So it matches the book more.
Yeah, kind of. What I will say is I think like Trelawney is really interesting because we are meant to view her as completely full of shit. Dumbledore thinks she's completely full of shit. Like at the end, he says that would make her, actual predictions rise up to 2. Right? But I actually think when you look at it and you analyze it, I don't think Trelawney is actually wrong about as much as we think she's wrong.
If you pay attention, if you've read the books enough and you pay attention to her prophecies, they're not all wrong. As a matter of fact, they're very vaguely right. And that could be just JK showing if you're vague enough, you can be right about stuff. But I think it would, no, I think the one I paid attention to in the book was, which wasn't true, but she's all, we're 13 at the table. The first one to stand up is going to die or be the first to die. Well, it was Harry. He wasn't the first to die, but he did die.
Well, there's something about that one though, because if you remember, she's hesitant to sit down at the table, right? Yes. Because if she sits down, it would make 13. And Dumbledore rises to greet her, basically.
Oh, yeah.
But there's somebody else at the table that we're not thinking about, and it's Scabbers. Peter Pettigrew is already at the table.
Yes.
So there's actually 13 at that table. She doesn't sit down. Dumbledore's the first to rise, and Dumbledore's the first to die of that group.
Yes. Okay.
So that prophecy, you can say it's true.
Yep.
Trelawney's constantly, and that also takes place a couple other times.
You're right. You're right.
When they're having dinner I think in Order of the Phoenix, when there's 13 people at the dinner table,
yes. Yep.
And Sirius gets up first to like help with the dishes or whatever that is, Sirius dies. Yep. I think in Deathly Hallows, when they're all sitting there kind of toasting Mad Eye's death, I think Lupin is the first to get up to go and search for the body. Right. He's the first to die of that group. So like, I actually do think that like the 13 dining is real and that one counts. Also, Trelawney's constantly talking about death surrounding Harry, but the reality is like
it was
death is a part of Harry's future. It just is.
Death is in a way inside Harry because because he's a Horcrux.
Well, and do you remember? I forget which book it is, but they're in one of them. You know, they're doing astrological things, and she's like, "Oh, I take it by the way Saturn does in your dark hair. Where you were born midwinter, Harry?" And he's like, "No, end of July or whatever." But
October,
you know who was born midwinter?
Or no, end of July. Sorry.
You know who was born midwinter? Voldemort was born on December 31st.
That's right. That's right.
Inside Harry. Like, so I think that Trelawney gets a lot of shit, but I think she's actually very, like, I think you're supposed to view her as full of shit, but when you start looking into things, she's right about a lot.
She is. And I didn't catch any of that first time around. Like, I just assumed she was totally full of shit. And I'm like, wait a minute. Well, I mean, the vague stuff. But there's a couple of things in this book, and there's more. And I think it's the same way George uses prophecy and dreams in his books. Like a lot of that shit is kind of true. And it might not be like you said with doublespeak. You're just concentrating on it being true as it applies to Harry, like you just said with Voldemort. It could apply to somebody else, or even Neville or something. So it's well thought out. Again, she's not like the best writer in the world. She really loves her adverbs. As Drinker, once Drinker pointed that out, I never thought about it, to be honest with you, until he thought it. I'm like, oh shit, there's a lot, but it doesn't bother me at all. But she's a great storyteller, if that makes any sense at all. So
I completely agree. And at the end of the day, that's kind of what's more important in my opinion. Like I can read young adult books if the story's there, I'm into the story and the background works. You know what I mean? I don't need everything to be super high level type of writing to really get into and enjoy a story. And yeah, I think it works really well.
I think it works really well. And listen, George, who we're going to talk about on Sunday.
Somebody said the podcast should be named Nargles with Attitude.
Yeah.
Stone Cold's beer cooler.
George's prose isn't the greatest in the world either. It's just not, compared to somebody like Tolkien or C.S. Lewis it's just not. But if she can get adults, and just as many adults were into the books as kids, that's a fact. It had the same appeal as Star Wars did. It might have been made for a younger audience, but it appealed to everybody. Just as many adults went to the movies and made the movies huge hits. Even the shitty movies did really well. Like, and I don't think you'll ever see anything like that again. Getting those movies out that quick, without the kids getting too old, even splitting the last one.
Big cast turnovers, on the exception of Dumbledore's actor Richard Harris passing away. But like to get big time actors like they had, big time English actors like they had to sign on for something like that, to commit to 10 years is a lot. To not have to recasting the kids is a lot. It's phenomenal. And obviously we don't know exactly what to expect with the series, and we have all our hopes. We obviously have a big black flag in Snape, in the casting for Snape. with the exception of that, I like all the other castings.
Yep.
Especially after listening to Arabella Stanton as Hermione throughout the course of
Yeah,
these 3 books. She's really good.
she is Hermione.
She is Hermione. Yeah. And so I think she's gonna do really well in the series. I like the Dumbledore casting. So we'll see.
I know I'm like when Hermione pretty much rats out Harry with the firebolt, and then threatens to turn him in if he goes to Hogsmeade. And I bet you as a kid I'd be reading that, but going, to fucking bitch. But as an adult, I'm like, she's doing the right thing.
She's trying to do the right thing to protect Harry, even if it means that her only 2 friends really are really upset with her. And this is at a time when Hermione is like doing 15-hour days basically because of the time turner. Like, she's completely overwhelmed. She's helping Hagrid with Buckbeak while Ron and Harry are fucking off. Like, she's got a lot on her plate, and she is doing the right thing, which is rough. You know what I mean?
Which is rough. Absolutely. But Neville got some points for Gryffindor for standing up to his friends, in a previous book. So I have a question about the time turner, because your memory's better than mine. And these books will be fresher in my just stuff flies out, Ryan. I've read the books a million times, and just stuff leaves. So the time turner. I'm like, man, that would be a fucking handy thing to have. That would be and I know they're heavily regulated. They don't go out to anybody. I seem to vaguely recall they get destroyed in Order of the Phoenix.
In your favorite book, yes. During the battle at the Ministry, they knock over the thing. And remember, that's when like that Death Eater falls in and his head's turned into a baby head and stuff over and over. Like the time turners do get knocked. And I think that's the right thing. Apparently one survived so we could have a cursed child play, which doesn't even follow the rules of time turners, but whatever.
No.
But, look, I think that the time travel aspect of this book is one of the things that makes this book phenomenal, because it's so like out of the blue. Now, again, when you're rereading it, all of the signs are there, and Ron is on top of it. Ron knows something's going on with Hermione. He's constantly going on her schedule. That doesn't make sense. Where was she? She was just here, and then she disappeared. Like, Ron is on to it. Ron knows something weird is going on. It is funny that you have something that's so highly regulated, yet the government is like, the only people that should be able to use this, people that are trying to get a little extra credit in their wizard middle school. Like, it's very strange that they're okay with that. And you can also make some other assumptions with that. That because Hermione, you look at all the classes she's taking, she needs to use a time turner to be able to do that. Percy got 12 OWLs. Barty Crouch Jr. got 12 OWLs. Like, if you are taking that many classes, I don't think there's any conceivable way you can do that without using a time turner. So Percy would have had access and been using a time turner while he was at Hogwarts, which may play in. I think there is a reasonable chance that Fred and George stole Percy's time turner, like after he was done at Hogwarts, and may have used that to place the bet in the Quidditch World Cup of Ireland winning and Crumb catching the snitch. I think there's a chance that happens.
That's a pretty good guess. Otherwise, that's a pretty lucky guess.
Yeah.
I like that theory. I do.
Yeah. I think that the question that I have with the time turner is, my belief is that you can't actually change anything with the time turners. So because we kind of see that even play out a little bit in the movie, which I think is really good. Like the rock that flies in, like the things that happen already happened. Like,
so once it's set,
you can't you're not actually change anything. Otherwise, I think everything will like go to hell. So like they always went back. I think when you hear Hagrid's wailing and crying after you think Buckbeak has been killed, I don't think he ever actually was.
No,
right?
they had him wail and cry that he was free.
Exactly.
And Harry was able to produce the Patronus because he already had.
Mhm.
So that's how
Right.
he knew he could do it. Um,
Yeah. So, like,
and
you can't actually change anything.
no,
Um,
and
and
they
maybe if
talk
you
about
do, that's when bad things actually
well,
happen. Like,
they
all those
said
things did happen.
they said bad things happen with time turners, and a lot of it ends up with wizards killing themselves.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
yeah, so there. I think that's a very loose way to make it, and she doesn't use it again. And I think getting rid of them in Order of the Phoenix is probably a good, like a really good move because that then Harry would have, gone, well, shit. Because he was trying to find all these ways to get Sirius back, and Time Turner would have been the first thing I'd have thought of.
Now, I do think that there's, like, I do think when you look at the rules of time turners, I don't think it's explicitly laid out in the books. I think you have to go to, like, Pottermore or whatever for all the
Yeah,
other stuff. I do, and that's why Cursed Child is so annoying because I believe if you use the time turner, like, you can't just, like, go back 20 years, do a couple things, and then hop back forward. Like, I don't think that's the way the time turner works, and if you did, I think you would age that amount of time.
yeah,
So, like,
yeah,
Hermione is probably aged, like, a couple months more than the other kids because of her use of time turners during the year, say, for 3 hours a day for, like, however long. You probably add that up to maybe, like, 1 or 2 extra months. I'm not doing the math, just in general.
yep,
So, but I do think if you were to use it and go all the way back and try to go forward, you would age the equivalent amount when you, like, went back. So, like, that's another reason why Chris Shaw makes absolutely no sense.
and we don't claim it.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to see it in, like, a theater at some point, just because I've heard the production's so freaking good. But I hate the story, despise the story.
I had a chance to see it, and I said no.
I would see it. I would see it, especially if Tom Felton was doing it. But those
Well,
tickets are expensive on Broadway.
if we, oh, he's on Broadway doing it. I was going to say if we go to the UK, we can. I mean, it's playing at the West End there. So
Are they going to have George's play out by then?
if he's involved with it in any way, no.
Would you watch that though?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, me too.
It's one of the most important tourneys in the history of Westeros that set the set up Robert's rebellion and Rhaegar, and this is probably right around when Rhaegar was having his dreams, and I think
Everything with Lyanna Stark, everything with Shara Dane, like, so many questions about, like, that specific tourney.
yep. So I think the voice actor work on 99% of this book is pretty brilliant. Even I was fine with Sirius Black being black, although they did literally describe how his face lost all its color and went pale. Multiple scenes, I'm laughing.
I'm not a huge fan of Sirius's voice actor. I'm not gonna say it's because he's black, but he does sound black, you know.
Yeah.
Even though we have, very good descriptors of Sirius. I desperately hope that does not mean they cast a black man as Sirius for the show, which I think there's a chance they could, because you're already going to run into racism accusations because of the
Yes.
group of white marauders bullying black Snape. The easy fix for them might be, well, let's make one of them black. The one named Sirius Black. Let's hope not.
And there's so many other people we've talked about it that they could have made back. Now I'm looking at the art for Prisoner of Azkaban. That's why I have to break out my. I'm pretty sure that's a black girl in there. Did you see that? Did you see the art for it?
For Prisoner?
For Prisoner, yeah. I'm pretty sure that's Hermione.
Are you talking about for the audiobook they did?
Yeah, for the audiobook. If you go look at the art,
thing?
yeah.
I don't know.
I think they flip it back and forth, but I was like, wait a minute. Because the art has, like, it looks like Snape's wand in Sirius's face, who's clearly white in the art.
That's good.
So,
yeah.
yeah.
And look, we've got all the illustrated editions. We know Hermione's color. I
Yeah.
just looked at it today. I looked at the scene in my full illustrated edition just to look at Sirius. And yeah, he's He's white. He's pale. He's got nasty ass hair. Doesn't look that much different than Snape, to be honest, at some points. But yeah, I do like the cast or the voice actors for the most part. Madame Pomfrey is not a madam.
It's not a
And
madam.
once you know, it is incredibly distracting that Madame Pomfrey is played by a trans person. And it's like, really?
Madame Pomfrey walks into the room. Hello, Harry. How are you doing?
Yeah. Well, let's take care of that, Harry.
Harry.
It's like, man, you couldn't even pretend you like you're a girl.
It's like, bro, come on.
It's a little bit rough. It's a little bit rough. But look, Mark Addy as Hagrid is awesome.
Dude, perfect. Absolutely perfect. If he wasn't too old, he would have been good in the show, you know.
Mark Addy is great. Hugh Laurie as Dumbledore is perfect. I'm so excited for the later books, especially Half-Blood Prince, when we get so much Dumbledore, because I think Hugh Laurie does a phenomenal job. Is it Michelle Gomez or whoever plays
Gomez.
McGonagall? I think is spot on. Does a great job. Like virtually everybody. The couple outliers, I would say, Riz Ahmed as Snape. I'm not a big fan. It's grown on me a little bit. It's almost like there feels like there's not much special about it.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
I know you got to like look past Alan Rickman, but even if you go to Stephen Fry or Jim Dale's Snape voice is great. And it feels like he should have been more gravelly. He just sounds annoying. You know, like it's not terrible, but it lacks any
it needs to sound a little more venomous.
Yeah.
Like a little bit chilly and a little bit more venomous. And Riz Ahmed is just like, maybe he's going with like,
it doesn't sound intimidating at all. That's the word is intimidating.
I think Riz Ahmed's Snape is sneering, which is probably something Snape does a lot. But I just, the voice isn't all there for me.
No, so he sounds kind of soft.
Yeah.
Not intimidating enough. Simon Pegg is Arthur Weasley. It's fucking great.
He's great.
And Matt Berry, the Brits out there will know Matt Berry is Sir Cadogan. He was so good.
What do you think of the voice for Fudge?
I think he's good. I think it's
all right. He almost sounds too like competent. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does.
And maybe that's because we know who Fudge like eventually turns into.
Yeah, and I think it'll play out better later.
Yeah,
I mean, he does like he does kind of complain that he's going to look bad. You know, he's like his concern is like when Sirius escapes and Buckbeak escapes, it's not like people are in danger. It's the Daily Prophet's going to have a field day with me. I'm going to look terrible. You know, it's like, Jesus Christ, dude.
And I think about some of those Stephen Fry books and how like unhinged and perturbed he is at times, especially Goblet and Order and stuff like that. So that's kind of my frame of reference for what we should expect in the future. And like this Fudge felt very competent. And you know, we'll see how that goes. One thing I did want to talk about specifically for Prisoner of Azkaban is like, I think there's some disconnect between the story that we get about the Secret Keeper and, you know, the death of Harry's parents and when all this happens and when they go under the charm, the Fidelius charm, because it really doesn't add up to what we know later. And I think those are changes and retcons from JK.
Yes.
But, you know, we know that Harry was, or that the Potters were under the Fidelius charm for a long time.
Yep.
And when you read this book, when you listen to the story of, you know, Fudge and Rosmerta, when they're talking to the Three Broomsticks and you overhear it, it feels like a week after they went in hiding, Voldemort comes and kills them.
It does.
That's not true. We know from a variety of places, but the easiest one would just be the note that we find that Snape takes from Sirius's room, the message from Lily to Sirius about Harry's first birthday, which would have been, you know, July 31st. The Potters don't get killed until Halloween night after
Halloween
Harry's
night,
first
yep.
birthday. So that's a couple months right there. And even then, Lily's talking to Sirius about how cooped up they feel and how James is like getting really irritated that he can't go out and he has to stay he has to stay in the house. So there's a big disconnect between, I feel like, the story that we get here and what happens. Also, there's just a lot of things that were changed, in my opinion, because the idea that Dumbledore doesn't know who the secret keeper is, when Dumbledore came to the house to ask for the invisibility cloak, when Bathilda Bagshot, can come over. So she was obviously told by a secret keeper. Like, maybe there's a big implication that they changed, like, months into this, that they changed secret keepers. But overall, like, a lot of it doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, and making Peter the secret keeper, because Sirius is like, well, Voldemort would obviously come after me. That's they liked Peter, but and I guess they trusted him, but he was never really talented in any way, and he was just kind of a glommer. So I don't know if that was the wisest decision either, but they made it.
It does sound like, from what we know of James and his kind of fierce loyalty to his friends and stuff, like, it does seem like it's something they would do. Like, they would trust him. But even in that message from Lily to Sirius, you get to talk about Lupin, or about Wormtail, and about how nervous he seems. And they think it's just because these people were murdered, but in reality, it's probably because he already has sold them out, or will sell them out, or has been passing information. And you have to wonder what was going on in that time frame, because Voldemort knows, he has to know about the prophecy for quite a while. Like, someone born at the end of July, so he had to have got it that year. I don't remember the exact date in which Trelawney gives that prophecy, in which Snape overhears it, then he passes to Voldemort. But I think it's safe to say that you're looking at a period of 8 months, maybe longer, maybe 10 months,
Yep.
where Voldemort has actively identified the Potters as the targets for this. And so what is taking so long? What's happening? I've heard a lot of theories back and forth about why, but it's a long time.
It
A long
is.
time.
And it didn't feel that way, but she retconned it later.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, but that's one of the things I noticed about this, is like, this doesn't add up to me. But yeah, not everything is super tight,
No, but
handful of things like that in there,
but that's fine. Like, no series is like in any way, shape, or form. And you can pick it apart to death, but the characters remain tight, and she finished the books, so there's always that. But I think that's why the Black Snape thing is so frustrating, dude, because when you're hearing these audiobooks for the first time, right? And I had wondered when they were doing just read, I'm like, why don't they do a BBC radio series for this? This is perfect for it. I don't know why they haven't done that for something like A Song of Ice and Fire. They probably will, but
they're waiting until it's finished. Yeah,
probably not. Yeah, it wouldn't be a good idea. But yeah, it really shows like how a lot of people who've never read the books, like the TV show will be able to cover so much more, and it could be more accurate. I just don't think it's going to be. I think that faithful adaptation is just complete bullshit that they were talking about.
The tough thing is going to be, I actually think there's a good chance that this is like a much better adaptation than what we see from the movies, period. But it's not going to come without its drawbacks, like Black Snape. And we haven't seen him yet. Who knows what kind of performance? It almost doesn't matter what kind of performance he gives, because of how, like, clearly and decisively they went out of their way to cast somebody that doesn't look like the character. Like, like, you could find people on the side of the street in London, if they're not getting stabbed or macheted to death, who look more like Snape than a black guy out of GQ. All right.
Yeah.
like it doesn't make any sense. We know why they did it, and it's frustrating. And that's the sad thing. It's kind of like the Percy Jackson series just got finished with season 2 on Disney Plus, and it's almost like that. It is definitively a way better adaptation than the movies were. The movies were a shit show. It's a way better adaptation, but it is kind of held back, and distractingly so, by the fact that they've race swapped so many characters. Now, if this is just one, and yes, is Arabella Stanton like a shade or two darker than what Hermione should look like? Yes, a shade or two. I think that she's going to give a great performance, and I'm not really going to care about that at all. But the Snape one is hard for me to overlook.
No, well, like you said, they couldn't even find a black guy who looked like Snape. You could.
Yeah.
You
At least
could.
find an ugly black guy.
Yeah, like pointy nose. They exist, but like this, it's gonna stand out every time, and he's so fucking important to the story. Like I said in my video, it's like Jim Gordon, race swapping Jim Gordon and Batman does have repercussions to the story, but not like it would with Harry Potter.
Yeah, and this book we get a glimpse at. And that's the thing. This was
Williams.
The perfect Matt Williams. There you go. This show was the perfect opportunity to actually show Snape, the complex individual that is Snape. In the movies, look, we love Alan Rickman. Alan Rickman probably even still a little too handsome to play the role of Snape.
Yep.
But a lot of people who have just watched the movies think that, oh, Snape was just a totally good dude. He was just pretending this all along. And it's like, it's not him. Snape is about equal parts like good actions and horrific actions.
Mm-hmm.
In this book, like the very fact that Neville Longbottom's biggest fear of all is one of his teachers is an indictment on Snape. This is not him playing to get on like Voldemort's good side. This is who Snape is. He hates his life, which I can sympathize with. He takes it out on all these children because he never got anything that he wanted, right? He never got Lily. He can't get the job that he wants. Like, and he takes it out on children, not just Harry. Like the fact that whether he would or wouldn't have let Neville's toad die if the shrinking solution didn't work in this book, I guess that's up for debate. But he is torturing Neville by saying, you fucking idiot, you messed this up. By the way, we're going to feed this to your toad at the end. And if you got it wrong, it's probably going to die. So good luck. Right? Like, that's what Snape does. This is not part of his act. That's who he is as a person. And so I think that the show is such a great opportunity to dive into the good and the bad of Severus Snape.
Oh yeah, he lets it slip to the class that Lupin's a werewolf when he doesn't get his Order of Merlin. Like what a dick.
Yeah, it's a schoolboy grudge, as Lupin says.
Yeah, and the thing is, Snape probably one of the more talented wizards out there. Period. But it's his attitude that keeps him from being more successful, and he's just a fucking dick. And we'll see if they pull that off in the show. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's like, and I mean, I have, I've got empathy for Snape, right? In some ways.
Sympathy for Snape. Maybe that's what we should call it.
Empathy for Snape did nothing wrong.
Snape did nothing wrong.
That's the name of the podcast. But, you've got this guy who has this clearly unrequited love for somebody, which is rough. And he never gets over it. And he never wants anybody else. He never really thinks about anybody else. And eventually, because of his actions, she dies. And this is somebody who ends up with the person that he hates more than anyone else in the fucking world. And every time he looks at Harry, he's promised and charged with the protection of Lily Evans' child, yet all he can see is James Potter, his absolute nemesis, the person he hates. And so, like, yeah, he spends half of his time doing everything he can to protect Lily's son while doing everything he can to make James Potter's son his life a living fucking hell. They just happen to be the same person in Harry. It is a very complex individual.
Yep. No, and that's what makes him interesting. why does Dumbledore has his reasons. Why is Trelawney even at the school when he knows she's a hack? Because she got one thing fucking right, and he can't risk having her get in the hands of a Death Eater or worse, Voldemort. So like he's like, well, we'll just she will be teaching classes horribly and she won't go anywhere because she got this one thing right that she might not even be aware of, which is hilarious.
Yeah, she has no memory of the prophecies, right?
No.
So, but yeah, I would imagine that they would, like, the Death Eaters and Voldemort are doing everything they could to get at if they could find out who made the prophecy, to get at Trelawney, even if she would have not, like, even if she had no idea. Like, that's what they would have done. Remember, they were imperiusing people to try to get through there and touch and grab the prophecy, even though they weren't allowed to. So Voldemort has some pretty wild plans that all happen to take exactly as long as the school year does.
Yeah.
When he could be doing better things, could be working on better things, but
he takes the summers off,
Yeah. But when you plan to live forever, what's a couple months, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah. We got 18 days till the next book comes out.
I'm so looking forward to Goblet. James McAvoy is Mad-Eye Moody.
No shit.
James McAvoy voices Mad-Eye Moody.
God. Well, I mean, the movies were like the Hall of Fame actors of the UK, and there was a lot of crossover with Game of Thrones too. And
there's only so many British actors,
There are. It was good cover art for this one too.
Yeah, so I'm very excited. I can't wait to hear Ludo Bagman and Barty Crouch. And like I said, the further along these books go and the more characters that get added, I think the better the full cast audiobooks are going to feel, because when you get into them having conversations, I'm getting emotional. It's really good. It really is. And all the different sound effects they have, I think, really add to the ambiance and put you in it, whether you're on the Hogwarts Express, whether you're in the Great Hall and everyone's eating, with the Quidditch stuff, the sound effects. They're phenomenal. I really do enjoy the full cast audiobooks.
Winky ends up being kind of important because the house elves end up being kind of important, and J.K. Rowling tried to tell. What's the
Mike,
producer's name?
The producer. I don't know. Mike Newell was the director for Goblet.
Yes, and she tried to tell them, like, you don't leave them out. Like, they're going to be kind of important later, and they did it anyway.
Yeah, for people asking, the full cast audiobooks are available on Audible. That's where I've been listening. I think that's the only place. I think they're Audible exclusive. And essentially once a month, they're dropping each subsequent one. So 3 are out right now. Sorcerer's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, Prisoner of Azkaban are all out. And then next month we get Goblet and so on.
It's David Heyman from Heyday.
David Heyman, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, David Heyman's been involved in all of these things. And I think he was instrumental in actually casting Daniel Radcliffe as Harry Potter in the beginning. So yeah.
Getting him to film all in the same place and putting that together, it's kind of phenomenal what he pulled off, even though a couple of the adaptions completely suck. But yeah, I think they wrapped Principal for season 1. Post is probably going to take a long time, I would guess. John Lithgow, or Lithgow. I say Lithgow.
I say Lithgow too, I think.
Is he going to make it, bro? I want him to. He's
10
healthy.
years. What is he, 70? What?
He's almost 80.
Almost 80?
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, look, you can't really predict those things. You could cast somebody who's 68 and they could die. Like, it just...
he is 80.
He's 80. So this is the last thing he's going to be remembered for. And he was talking about that when he took the job. And it's crazy that we had an American as the first announced casting in the Harry Potter series, in a time where for the movies, when JK had a lot of control over casting, so strict about no Americans, all British actors.
Yep.
The first one we get is an American who has plenty of practice, you know, even as
Yes.
Winston Churchill and things like that with a British accent. So I don't think we have anything to worry about. But, you know, Dumbledore, eh, you know, the most important characters are Harry, Snape, and Dumbledore.
Yep.
Um, you know, so it's a big one. And you know, when we look at Richard Harris and how he passed away and everything and getting sick, the question I would have always had about Richard Harris is when we get into, say, Order and Half-Blood, would Richard Harris, I think he was great for the very calm, like wise Dumbledore. Would he have been able to give off that aura of power? And that's what we'll have to be looking for John Lithgow, right? It's such a balance of this whimsical, calm, grandfatherly figure who also is like kind of still spry for his age and, you know, fun loving and joking. It's a really interesting character that you need to be able to play a lot of different parts.
It's a lot like the Doctor, this whimsical, fun character that can give you like the 1,000-yard stare, it turning on a dime. I think John Lithgow can do it. I think he can if they get this series out. I think the plan was over 10 years. I think it's
an aggressive plan with modern filmmaking. And you know, one of the challenges with it that I don't think most people think about is, yes, you have child actors, which is difficult. I think the most difficult part about having child actors is not that they're young, it's that you are limited in your time with them. There are very specific requirements time-wise for how long you can have young actors acting and working per day. So what you do with that time is very important. You have to be really efficient. That's why Chris Columbus, you know, shot like he had a million different angles for every single shot because he'd had experience working with kids before. And he knew how difficult it was going to be to have a shot where like all three of the Golden Trio all gave perfect performances and none of them made weird faces and none of them did anything strange. So that's why, especially in Sorcerer and Chamber, you see like a lot of strange cuts. And it's just because of like what they were dealing with. And I think he did a great job with what they were doing and the inexperience of those actors.
Yeah. Let's hope they can keep the cast together too. But yeah, I can't wait for the next audiobook. And we're going to be, the plan is for this is basically kind of like a book club. So we're going to be going over a chapter of the book for about like an hour. So these will be available. We're going to upload them as podcasts when we're done. But it'll, you know, be recorded as a live stream. And again, it'll be about an hour long. Then we'll get to your guys' questions. And that's the plan. That's the plan moving forward for this.
That's the question. Are you and me going to be alive by the time we get to the end of the book club? That's the real question. Because there's 300 chapters in Harry Potter. That's a 5-year commitment we have going on, Gary. I could certainly die within that time.
Yeah, I could too. I'm getting old. You never know.
Yeah. So it's not gonna be John Lithgow. It's gonna be us.
Yeah,
we make it.
He'll outlive us both.
Probably. Probably.
He will.
But yeah, and that's the idea is, you know, start on Sorcerer's Stone and do one chapter at a time. And I think especially for some of these first books that aren't quite as complex and stuff,
it should be fun.
You know, maybe be a little less than an hour, maybe a little more, who knows? And maybe we'll take some questions from you guys and stuff at some point in those. But yeah, I think it's fun. And we've been talking about it for a while. With as much shit as we talk about, it is good to talk about the stuff that we truly do enjoy sometimes.
Yep.
So yeah. Somebody asked what's the name of the podcast. We don't know yet.
We don't know yet.
We need your help, guys.
We need your help. Submit them to our emails. We are open to it. And then maybe I can have X-Ray Girl kind of go over any of the suggestions in chat I might have missed. And we can figure something out. But it is it's something that makes me happy for the most part, except for Black Snape's casting announcement. But I think the series is still going to be fucking huge, especially that first episode. I think the ratings will be insane. It will be an event. It'll be a cultural event, a cultural phenomenon. At least the lead up. There'll be a lot, and I guess we find out next year when it comes out.
Yeah, and I do agree. Like, despite the hesitancy with Black Snake, the IP is so massive, the brand is so massive, it is going to be probably the biggest thing on streaming. Maybe HBO Max, obviously, with the exception of Netflix stuff, but in terms of the biggest streaming thing that HBO Max has ever seen. Now, when it actually comes out, there's a good chance HBO Max and Netflix are going to be partners. So who knows what that looks like. But yeah, big.
Yeah. The only question I have is the writers. You're having the writers of Succession do this. It's such a different thing. It feels like that pick was, well, they did a good series before. We'll have them adapt this. It's like, people from Breaking Bad wrote Rings of Power, and it was shit.
Yeah, that's true.
It was
true. We got snitches and witches.
Snitches.
We be snaping.
Snitches and witches. That's good.
Fast Times at Hogwarts High.
There you go.
Welcome back, Potter. The podcast that must not be named.
I kind of like that.
I like it in theory. It is a little it is a little long, but the podcast that must not be named. That is funny, Bad Shepherd.
Yeah, because if it could be something playing up to the fact that it's me and Ryan, so it's not going to be the kind of people you would think would be doing a Harry Potter podcast.
Yeah. It can't be like something super fucking racist or whatever, right? Like, has to be like Harry Potter within the theme, but also a little funny. So might makes right. Ooh, I like that one. Might makes right. Yeah.
Have a little statue of a wizard standing on the Muggles and the house elves and.
So what's your Hogwarts house, Gary? You a Gryffindor?
Gryffindor, yeah. I did the test, so
I'm a Slytherin. Okay.
Did you really get Slytherin?
I've taken the test, and yes, I'm a Slytherin. And that was what my house. I feel like my house has always been Slytherin. Period. But when
that's your house,
test,
buddy.
Slytherin.
Nobody's doubting that. Hey, speaking of the kid voicing Draco Malfoy is great. He is so fucking good at it. He's got that Malfoy laugh down.
Yes, like you want to punch him.
You want to punch him, but it's also funny. Like he's all. It's like,
bro, Draco in Prisoner, like this entire book. His entire thing is about this freaking hippogriff, right? Like he gets hurt on the first day of school, and he just uses it the entire time to get out of Quidditch, to get out whatever, and then the rest of it is just trying to get Hagrid fired.
Yeah, it's a prick
the entire time.
It's so good.
But yeah, well, also one thing we didn't talk about is the next round of audiobooks. They're aging up the young actors.
Yeah, so we get a new Harry Potter.
We get a new Harry, Ron, Hermione, Draco, Neville, all the kids. We get new ones, which I think is great because obviously they've gone through puberty at this point. They're going to sound older. Like it is. I think it's the right thing to do. So hopefully they're as good as these characters.
Hey, will they have 70s haircuts like they did in Goblet of Fire? What was
that
the
memes about Harry's hair and Goblet are so funny.
They all look like they stepped out of the 70s. I was like, that was a weird choice. And then they all went back immediately. But it was like all of them had the
real long
haircuts
hair.
Were fucking terrible, by the way.
My hair didn't, when I was in high school, when I was like a freshman or sophomore, my hair didn't look that much different than Harry's in that movie. I'm going to be honest. So
I'd like to see a picture of that. That'd be pretty funny. Let's get to the people.
Find it.
Holotoshi says Wizard is never late, nor is he early. He streams precisely when he means to. Exactly. Well, Ryan and I were like, we don't have a title. Like, we've been actually thinking about it. It's like all the good ones are kind of taken. So
I was even, you know how sad and pathetic I was, Gary? I was actually using Grok to try to come up with titles.
I
That's
wouldn't
how
even
bad
admit
it got
that.
for me.
Oh, Jesus.
Using AI to come up with, and all of them sucked. They're all stupid.
Oh, good Lord.
No.
Mikey Gusler for 5. What's up? Currently playing Hogwarts Legacy as Gandalf in the Ravenclaw house. Hope the sequel is just as good or even better. Are they making a sequel to the game? I mean, guess they would.
Hogwarts Legacy 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Nerd Potter Outpost says snacks for $2. Thank you for the $2. Say his name. Black Snape.
Black Snape.
Yeah, you say black better than I do. You just do.
That's what they say.
That's yeah. Scary Gary and Crying Ryan butcher Harry Potter, says Net Stealer. Have you met Net Stealer?
I don't think we've met.
Net Stealer, have you been to a meetup where he was at? I met him.
Maybe I have then. I don't remember if we've met. Net Stealer's awesome. He's always in the chat.
Yeah.
Net Stealer sent me this Chicago Bears Soldier Field 75th anniversary of the NFL.
Which is 75th awesome. Anniversary. That's the year the Chargers went to the Super Bowl.
Look at that.
During that year. Yeah. I have the book. I have a Chargers jersey with that logo on it. Fucking Stan Humphries. No, Net Stealer's cool. Got me some comics. Harry Pothead and the Philosopher is Stoned. Captain JP. That might have been applicable to me like back in the day, but Avada Kedavra, my life.
AKML,
yeah. Has Gary ridden Hagrid yet? No. Taker 610. Ryan is RK Outpost based on the comic Outpost. Also, watch your timing when asking Gary if someone's junk still works. My junk still works.
I was probably talking about George R. R. Martin.
Yeah.
I think it's the last person I said that about. And no, it was not based on the comic Outpost. It was literally just something randomly I came up with. And I
like Outposts. I've always liked that, but I didn't that was the name of the store when I bought it, but it was called the Comic and Card Outpost, and I made it the Comic Outpost.
Yeah, I just thought where people come to get stuff,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like go to my channel to get something. I don't know.
It works.
I'm not good at coming up with names. I'm just not.
It works. Potter, I barely knew her. Says Jimber Jamber 8540 for 2. Thank you. All I know is these books are done. So KK1, JK1, not JK1 George 0. Yeah, I've got to find Ryan the blog post, and I read it. It was, I'm pretty sure it was for Deathly Hollows, but I'm not sure. She got a Hugo and he didn't, and he fucking bitched about it on his blog post. And yeah, it was Jesus. Such a fucking baby.
When was it? Was it like
it was years and years ago? So he'd been like the Nada blog has been around forever. Like it goes back.
Would it have been in like 06? When was Clash? Was that not Clash? When was Feast for Crows? Was that 06?
05.
05, and then Dance was 2011.
Yeah, Dance was 2011. So it was when one of his books got beat, and it could have been before that. One of his books got beat out for a Hugo, or some award. I'm pretty sure it's a Hugo. But it could also been one of his Dunkin' Egg books or something. I don't know, but I distinctly remember reading it and going, "Damn, he doesn't like her." New title of the stream: ex comic store owner, ex Navy forehead talk about Harry Potter. Just rolls off the tongue. Says Wild Warlock for $5 Australian dollars. The Gary Door and the Ryan Claw show.
I mean, I'm not a Ravenclaw, but that is creative. Andy plays games.
That would be second choice if you weren't Slytherin. I'd say Ravenclaw for sure.
Yeah, I Probably, maybe.
Eric John Pete's thoughts on George R. R. Martin at Oxford Union. Did he do a speech? I'm not aware. Did he not? Did he not finish it?
Yeah. Yeah, he got writer's block. Couldn't figure it out. Yeah. What do you think? So I have theories or like questions, I guess, about the sorting hat.
Yes.
Like, obviously, it doesn't just sort people into like where they actually belong. It sorts people based on what they value.
Yes.
Right. Like Gilderoy Lockhart is in Ravenclaw because that's what he values, is knowing everything, or people thinking that he knows everything.
Yeah.
We've seen that. That's why Neville is in Gryffindor. That's why Hermione's in Gryffindor. Like, we understand that. Why does no incoming student, how have none of them been told about the sorting before they get there?
Like from other students?
Yeah, from their families.
From their families?
Like, there's just no way you can convince me that of all these wizarding families, of all these people, that none of them, even though, hey guys, make sure it's a surprise for your kids, that none of them were like, oh, don't worry. Like just like what Harry does to Albus on platform 9 3/4 at the end. It's like, there has to be some sort of charm, right?
Huh.
That prevents that, because until Harry tells his son, no one has ever been told that. Ron doesn't get told that by all his friends and family. Ginny doesn't get told that. Like, nobody gets, even Draco, right? Considering his father tells him everything. Lucius tells him about the Triwizard Tournament. Like, he's clued in on everything. But Lucius doesn't tell his son how the sorting works. I don't buy it.
Yeah.
Which, there has to be some sort of like charm on like the hat. Some people have like thrown out, it's like a Fidelius charm on the sorting hat. And that, like, you can't tell anyone, but then you know the secret once like the hat sits on you or whatever.
Yeah.
And then maybe when Voldemort sets it on fire, that's what breaks the charm, which is why Harry can tell his kids. I don't know. But I don't buy it, you know?
Yeah. That's an inconsistency. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but a charm would explain it. I know she did it with Pottermore, but she was supposed to do an encyclopedia. She specifically said when Deathly Hallows was done, she was going to work on an encyclopedia, and she never did it to publish. And I guess that's what Pottermore turned into. I'm surprised because it could really use like an appendices.
Yeah, there's so much stuff, and obviously, just because you find like something that doesn't work out, it is not lore breaking, story destroying. It's such a huge world, and magic is a big part of it. But when you invent this world, there's so many other possible questions. And when you've read it as much as we have, like, you just think about random things. Like, I think about the money system. Money makes no sense.
No.
Like, you're telling me it's 10 galleons. Is it 10 galleons for one of those binoculars that they buy at the World Cup, which are cool, right? Yep. Buying a wand is 8 galleons. And that is a once in a lifetime purchase. How does Ollivander stay in business?
Yeah.
When every wizard only buys one wand? Snaps. Okay, I get it. But every wizard only buys one wand. And some of them pass it down to other people. How do you stay in business, Ollivander? Is he subsidized by the Ministry of Magic? Is this a socialist utopia? I don't understand what's going on.
It's either that or, he owns the building.
Yeah, and his family's owned it for forever.
Yeah.
So, well, here's the other thing.
He's really making money off the rent off of everybody else.
Gary, do you remember what Slughorn says unicorn tail hairs go for? When he's looking up in Half-Blood Prince, he says those go for 10 galleons apiece. So you're telling me that a unicorn hair is 10 galleons and you put it into a wand and you're selling those for 8 galleons. Something fishy is going on. There's money changing hands under the table. I blame the goblins. I think they control everything.
Yeah. And maybe he's a tax evader. That would make him based.
That's true.
Maybe it's laundering.
It's money laundering at Ollivander's. That's a spinoff we need to see.
Yes. An elf, a sock, and poor life choices.
God.
Raven Watch. I don't know. I'm not good at names. The best I got. So thanks, Mexi Rage. Well, it's the problem is there are some good names out there. They've been taken by the thousands of other, because hey, we're the first ones to ever do a Harry Potter book club and podcast ever.
Yeah, we're a couple decades late.
Couple decades late. Harry, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire? I know, dude. Michael Gambon didn't really figure out the role until I would say Half-Blood Prince.
He nails it in Half-Blood Prince.
Yep.
He and it's sad because he's fine in Prisoner, but he doesn't have much. There's not much to go on in Prisoner. You don't get a lot of Dumbledore and Harry specifically. In Goblet, everything's off with Goblet. Every character is off in Goblet. Order, you also don't get a lot because he's not talking to Harry. That's kind of the point of the book. I do think he gives a good performance in Order, both in the ministry scene, in the court appearance, and of course the fight scene, and then
he's calmer,
Yeah,
I mean, but dude, in Azkaban, he runs up to the podium, like oh shit, that's little whiplash from Richard Harris, who's slowly walking around. Listen, Richard Harris, he lived a hard life, man. That guy partied like a mofo. And a lot of people said his son should have taken over, and it wouldn't have been bad. Jared Harris is a pretty fucking good actor, but he said, nah. I think he talked about it in the past. He's like, no.
At this point, I want Hugh Laurie.
I do too. I think Hugh Laurie's perfect, and you can make somebody younger look older, right? And I think he just absolutely nails the spirit of Dumbledore.
I love what we're hearing in the audiobook. It's so good.
Dumbledore confronting Voldemort in the Ministry, one of my favorite moments. Absolutely.
And really well done in the movie. I do think a couple things are missed in the movie. Fawkes swallowing a killing curse. Dude, I really want to see that. But yeah, and obviously everything going on with the centaur galloping around and him animating all those things to block the killing curses and stuff, I think are really cool.
The Aurors are on their way.
Tom.
Good stuff. Tom. He calls him Tom. It's great.
It was a mistake to come here tonight, Tom.
Yep. Shit.
And then Harry does the same thing, talking to him later.
I'm going to watch that scene. It's such a good scene, though.
And that, to me, is one of the biggest failures of the movie. Harry Voldemort final confrontation is that it takes place not in the Great Hall, not surrounded by everybody, not surrounded by all the people that Harry's. There's a lot of just stuff they miss, like the idea that Harry, by sacrificing himself for everyone, actually put all of them under the love protection that he himself had been a beneficiary of. His curse is not sticking. All of those things, I wish we would have been able to see in Deathly Hallows. And the final confrontation, I think, is very important as he's laying out all these things. He's talking about the wands. He's talking about all this stuff. But more importantly, if Voldemort just disappears into ash, there's no real finality to it because, he disappeared in the first time he died. The idea that at the end,
it's just his body.
Tom Riddle, dead body,
dude.
Nothing special about it. He's dead. There is no other chance. He's and everyone can see him dead. I just think it's very important for the finality of what all of this means and his entire goal of cheating death. I think it's really important, and we don't get to see that in the movie. Yeah, the idea that Hagrid just takes him and puts him in a broom closet, as everyone's celebrating in the Great Hall.
They just put his body in a broom. Oh, dude, they missed a bunch. It's fucking Hagrid and the spiders. That would
at the end, the centaurs.
Oh yeah, the centaurs coming in. all that would have. They did the Giants, which was which was cool. I thought that was cool. But what'd you think of Deathly Hallows, the movies?
The movies. I think they're pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, it's the right choice to split them into two. As a result, it feels like a little bit of a slog sometimes when they're out there camping. But to be honest, so does the book. I think you're supposed to feel that way. I think you're supposed to feel a little frustrated that they're not making any progress. That's what a lot of the contentiousness is about in Deathly Hollows. Are you talking about the movies or the book in general?
The movies
Yeah.
as
I actually like the
adaptations.
extended editions too. That you know, when you can see those special extended editions, there's even more scenes
On
out there.
Peacock. You can watch all the extended editions on Peacock, and they're
Yeah,
all better. Like even the bad movies are better because I don't know why they cut any of that stuff out.
yeah,
Uh,
and like my the worst thing that they ever cut out was in Half Blood Prince when they've just escaped the cave and you know Dumbledore's leaning on Harry and he's like, "Don't worry, sir. Don't worry, sir. You'll be okay." And he says, "I know I will. I'm with you." Like
yes.
that moment gives me chills when I read it in the book, and the fact that they shot that and didn't put it in
Mm,
sucks. Like
mm.
that is like to me that's like a very special moment in the series. Like I don't know why that line sticks out to me so much, but it really does when they've just gone through all that stuff and like Dumbledore is not worried because he's with Harry.
This is with Harry. So basically passing the torch right there, and you know, the humanity of Dumbledore and the belief in Harry. Because Dumbledore's this larger in life figure to absolutely everybody, and that's why his death has it shakes him, and it had to happen, right? Mine, I got spoiled. So before I even read the book had been out for a day, Ryan, a fucking day. So one of my customers read the goddamn, like, stayed up all night and like read the whole fucking thing. And he comes in and he's like, "I can't believe they killed Dumbledore." I'm like, "You motherfucker." It's like, dude, you
God,
have to
that would be so annoying.
uh,
Like
good
it's
thing we were
one thing
good
if it's a
friends.
movie or a TV show, but like a book, it's like, bro, I just got a 650-page book yesterday. I had to
Yeah.
work last night. You're telling me the end.
Ugh.
That's what I did for Goblet when that came out. I one weekend just cover to cover, you know.
Oh, remember the midnight sales for Deathly Hollows, and it was like a party in the parking lot at Barnes& and Noble.
It it,
Uh,
it was nuts.
it was
Like
crazy.
early YouTube, I think, is when I saw videos of people spoiling Dumbledore's death at the Half-Blood Prince release party. Like getting in a truck, driving and be like, Snape kills Dumbledore, Snape kills Dumbledore, and everybody was so pissed. Yeah.
And they
But
obviously went to the end. They
in
did.
terms of the Deathly or in terms of Deathly Hallows, the movies, overall, I still think they're good. Um, like Dobby's death scene is heartbreaking, you know? Uh the ministry stuff is good. The escape from the ministry is good. Um, yeah. I do like the movies. I just wouldn't I just don't know if I'd put them as like, is that my favorite one to rewatch? They're very slow, they're very dark. They're not fun, you know?
No, no, that's the whole thing, is that like it culminates in like they beat the bad guy, but man, at what cost? Right.
Yeah. You know, I do think we need to see Fred's death better
Yes.
portrayed. Because that is such a monumental moment. And
Oh God, yeah.
Percy gets done dirty as well. Let's talk about
Yeah,
Percy
yes.
Weasley, okay? Percy Weasley, because he gets kind of forgotten about in the movies, and I get it. I understand. You can only include so much, but Percy's redemption after a couple years of being a complete asshole to the family, and when he shows up there in the room of requirement, and you know the family hug and embrace and forgive them and everything, and he's just come back. and they're dueling, and for him and Fred and George to be there and for them to just be joking like a family again, and for Fred to die like that. Percy's reaction is one of the things that's like most
Yeah.
emotional for me, because he has just become a part of the family again. And like the way it's described, like the last echo of Fred's laugh still on his face,
Yep.
like when he died. That's brutal.
Yep. No, I was it's so good in the book.
And I hate, there are some people that have a theory that Percy's under the Imperious curse, which is why he like does these things. And I hate that theory. I think it's
No.
a dog shit theory, because Percy didn't need to be under the Imperious curse to get wrapped up in the idea of power and fitting in and climbing the ladder at the ministry. Everything we know about Percy in terms of him wanting authority, him sucking up to authority figures, him feeling more important than he is, like he doesn't need to be under the Imperious curse for any of that stuff, for him to lose his way like that. I hate that theory because it takes a lot of the onus of it
Yeah.
and like off of him. And I get it. You don't want to think that Percy could turn his back on his family, but with his personality, you see
They were
why
setting
it
it up.
happened. Yeah.
They were setting it up the whole series. Very ambitious dude. But then like one of the better parts is when he comes back and how quickly he's taken in, like even by Fred and George,
Immediately forgiven.
Yeah. And that's why, the Weasleys, the whole thing about the Weasleys is they're actually the richest family in the world of Potter because they have each other. They have no money. They have a pretty big fucking house, for poor people. But
Well, look,
yeah.
let's be real. We can only feel so bad for the Weasleys. It's pretty clear to me they're irresponsible as fuck with their money. Hey, the poorest family with all these kids, we won a 500 galleon prize from the lottery. What are we gonna do? We're all gonna take a vacation and spend all of our money
On to Egypt. I know.
Pretty irresponsible. Okay.
Fun, but irresponsible. And then, all these, Muggle artifacts, a flying car that would, you probably could have sold that, Arthur, Oh, I love, and I don't think it gets acknowledged in the book. So Hermione is taking extra classes to get extra marks and using the time turner. And those extra classes are divination and Muggle studies.
Divination, Muggle studies.
There's like 2 times that she's like, I've got to read this book on Muggle behaviors. It's like, you were raised by Muggles. Why do you need to take this fucking? It's so fucking funny. But
it's interesting to know the wizard perspective or whatever she says.
It
that is totally Hermione. That's Hermione coded that she would, like, regardless of all of her expertise as living with Muggles, she would want to know the like by the book answers for everything.
Yep. Of course. I just thought that was funny, and how they just kind of like breeze past it a couple of times. I'm like, that is fucking hilarious. Thank you for the super sticker. Deeds, is it MN or Minnesota?
Deeds, Minnesota.
Enjoy your Leering centers. If the show turns to crap, Harry Pooper in the chamber pot of secrets. It might. Thank you, Wild Warlock. Mikey Gussler for 5. Favorite book and film is Goblet of Fire. The best films are 1 through 4. One example is the direction of the films. Films 5 and 8 are bland looking. Order is the worst. I disagree.
Me and Mikey fight about this all the time because he loves Goblet of Fire, the movie. I hate it so much.
Yeah. Okay. So Goblet of Fire, when I saw it in the theaters, I was fine with it. I hated how much was missing, but I was fine with it because it is fun. But that's just
very fast paced and frenetic.
Yeah.
Like everything about it is. Yeah.
But it is the worst adaptation. And I think Order is great. But David Yates gets a little bland. But he picks it up in Deathly Hollows. For one, they get a different guy to do the score. I forgot who was doing the score for 5 and 6. But they got Alexander Desplat to do it, and he was much better. That soundtrack is much, and that does make a difference.
What do you think about the Fantastic Beast movies?
I generally don't. I think I I don't think they're horrible.
They're not.
I just think that they're bland, and they're David Yates movies. And I think he's got kind of a prodding style. I will tell you, I've never seen The Secrets of Dumbledore.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Never seen it. After Johnny Depp left, I'm like, fuck this. I don't care.
They all run, honestly, all of them run together, which I think says a lot about them. Like, to me, in my mind, I do think you have some okay characters and stuff. The problem is it's not at Hogwarts. Like, I
Yeah.
just think that's so integral when you're just dealing with all adults. And I think that Newt is way too autistic.
Dude, he
Uh,
mumbles. He
and,
mumbles all
and,
the like. Yeah.
and I think it's very intentional, like
Yes.
that he's played that way. And yeah, I just I like Jacob. I think Jacob's fun. I think he's a cool character as a nomad. Um, you know, Ezra Miller gets a little tiresome, like with his character specifically. The Dumbledore Grindelwald stuff could be interesting. I feel like there's a lot of inconsistencies with the Fantastic Beasts movies. The idea that Minerva McGonagall is helping out Dumbledore at Hogwarts in the 1930s or late 1920s when she would not have been there by then. That
No,
makes
no.
absolutely zero sense. I don't like that. I don't like how Dumbledore so clearly knows exactly how to use the Room of Requirement. That might be a Secrets of Dumbledore one though. Like that might be where they use the Room of
Yeah.
Requirement. So
I mean, I know what happens in it. I just
Yeah.
haven't seen the movie. I had no desire. And the whole Dumbledore Grindelwald thing, I thought I didn't even want to know the background of the story. And it's not the gay shit. I don't care about that. I think it's better as a story that's told in Harry Potter. And
Yeah.
and we don't need to see everything about it. And that's the problem with films today is,
Well, and luckily you never will because they didn't get to finish the Fantastic Beasts series.
No, it's supposed to be 5, right?
Yes.
It's supposed to be 5. But yeah, I don't think every like important detail list. Yes, I know there's, the Star Wars prequels, which I think caused all this, by the way. But I don't think every interesting story from a main story needs to be told. I think it's much better as, oh, this is, something to be best left to the imagination. Because I was imagining, the duel between Dumbledore and Grindelwald is like this. It was considered like the most epic duel of duels. Did we get that in Secrets of Dumbledore? Yeah.
No. So it gets revealed that there's like the blood pact that they made.
Yep.
They made a blood pact to not attack each other. So Dumbledore has been trying to work behind the scenes, but he can't take direct action against Grindelwald because of this blood pact. And at one point, and the idea that that Ezra Miller's character is actually Aberforth's son, and like all of these different things kind of get wrapped into that, and you end up having this confrontation because Grindelwald is trying to take over essentially all the government, and he's trying to get elected to this post, and to do so he needs this animal that will like bow before him, and he kills it and artificially like brings it back to life so that it will do what he wants. But Newt has the twin of that. I forget what they're called at this time. So he can prove that that one's not real, and he can prove that that won't bow to him, so that he's not able to trick everyone in Europe into electing him into this position. It's really him acquiring power as you lead up to World War II. Like Grindelwald is acquiring power as like the Nazis are rising to power. All this.
Yeah.
And at the end, there's this confrontation where Dumbledore and Aberforth and Grindelwald all like attack at the same time, out of defense. One's attacking, one's trying to defend, and they coalesce on the blood pact and they like destroy it and stuff. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of questions about whether that duel ever really took place, whether Grindelwald kind of gave up. And all that stuff, which I do think is interesting to think about, but we're never going to see it play out on screen.
Well, that's another thing they changed in the movie is Grindelwald did not rat out Dumbledore. He kind of did the right thing at the end. Instead of, even the possibility of being freed, he did the right thing at the end. I thought that was really cool. And who was young Grindelwald in Deathly Hallows?
Jamie Bauer Campbell, who plays Vecna or Henry or one. Who gives really good performance.
Oh yeah, he's going to be in Rings of Power. Poor guy. Don't do it. Don't. I think he's a good actor. He's actually really good in Horizon. Kevin Costner's Horizon Part 1 that we'll never see the other parts of. Yeah, he's really fucking good in that. Yeah.
Duke Chronic says it's scary how much Ryan knows. I know it is. Sometimes it's a blessing and a curse.
A lot of information in that head. I have to be like, I have to be refreshed on it. Like if you would have hit me up, especially when Deathly Hallows the movie came out, I reread the books like twice within a year. I could have won trivia contests easy. So I got to be close to what if you give me some time in between, shit happens. I sleep. I'm thinking about other things.
Well, one of the things I thought we could do for this was to, as we're reading the books, maybe you guys can tell us if you think it's interesting. I stole this from another Harry Potter podcast idea, by the way, but get fresh copies of the books, Gary.
Yep.
So we're both reading the same thing. So we'll be on the same page.
But don't use my first prints.
Yeah, we're not going to use the ones that we've got on display and shit. Right, we go to the store, we go to Barnes & Noble, we get like the books. And as we're doing it, we write notes, we say things, we do that. And then maybe for like, certain tier of channel members or whatever, we can set something up where we can, I don't know if that's the best way to do it, but some way that like if you support the show, that we can then send a couple pages of those out. We can rip off the spine, send a couple of pages of those out to people.
Yep.
I think that would be interesting. So maybe if you guys want our like scribbles or stupid drawings of shit.
You want to see how I write and you can understand why I can't read.
Yeah, exactly.
I write like a doctor, except without the doctorate. So,
me too.
Dude, are we getting that Half-Blood Prince fully illustrated book? I know the original artist had some personal problems, like a nervous breakdown or some.
Yeah, I think it just became too much work for him.
Yeah.
From what I know, they're switching artists, but I don't know. Like, I really don't know when we can expect those.
It's been a while.
I was shocked we got the fancy version of Goblet of Fire after Menismo or whatever company decided to stop doing it. Then another company picked it up and put them out.
Yeah.
So like, I didn't think we were getting that, and all of a sudden that comes out. But these illustrated books take a long, long time.
They're really good, though.
They're really good. I pull them out all the time, like as references for like what we have the illustration, what we know these characters look like.
Directed by J.K. Rowling specifically. So, yeah. I'm reading Goblet of Fire for the first time. I cannot push through the part about asking girls out. Any thoughts on those parts? Oh, them trying to figure out how to ask out girls. I think it's normal teenage angst stuff.
Yeah, it's normal coming of age stuff, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I just read through it. I mean, is it my favorite part of that book? No, but I just power through it. I think it ends up being pretty entertaining, ultimately, how they end up getting dates. And Hermione, you're a girl. That's funny shit.
Yeah. You just noticed, huh? Yeah.
And she had done all these things that like nobody noticed, like she shortened her teeth, and
again, Snape, asshole Snape. Hermione's teeth are down past her chin, which is, by the way, every time I read that, I don't like thinking about teeth or like having an accident with my teeth where they get knocked out. Like, I don't like it. The idea of her front teeth coming down below her chin that makes me uncomfortable.
It's horrible. So you feel that way, like I don't get super squeamish watching movies, but if somebody's ripping out fingernails, I cannot watch that shit.
Oh, fingernails, huh?
Yeah, fingernails is like, whoa, no. Probably because I've had a couple ripped out and I've had a couple teeth knocked out too.
Stuff
It
with
doesn't
the
feel good.
eyes and stuff with the teeth, I don't
Yeah.
like. But the idea that Snape looks at Hermione, she can't even cover her teeth with her hands, and he says, "I see no
No
difference."
difference.
Like, dude,
What a
for
dick.
no reason, man.
Oh, poor Hermione. Then she shortens him and nobody notices.
Yeah, until she gets hot.
Yep. You're a girl. Deception for 5 Canadian pesos. Just finished Chamber of Secrets audiobook. On to Prisoner now. Kit Harington was amazing as Lockhart. He was so fucking good.
Oh, Harry. He's awesome, dude.
Yep.
He's so good. I had so much fun listening to Kit Harington as Lockhart.
And I have to say that Ramsay Bolton, okay, I can't say his name because it's some like Welsh name. It's like Eon blah, blah, blah. Yeah, ask Mahler to pronounce it. But yeah, he's really good as Lupin. Alex Hassel as Lucius was also incredible. He was very good. Potter. Jason Alexander is so fucking good as him in the movie, though.
I love so much of the behind the scenes stuff with him as well. From those, like where he's talking about how he just like kind of made some things up, and if I remember right, I think that in Chamber when he like turns to Harry and is like, "Well, hopefully, Mr. Potter will always be there to save the day." And Daniel Radcliffe, and it's kind of a strange like lighting and everything.
Yeah, it is.
Like very dark except around his face, and it's kind of light. He says, "Don't worry, I will be." Like I think that was like ad lib. And yeah, it was awesome.
It works.
When he's talking about like kicking Dobby and stuff, like I think he ad libbed a little bit of that as well. The wild part about that is when the scene after he like gets knocked down the thing and he pulls out his wand and he's about to use the killing curse at Hogwarts on Harry Potter in the hallway. Like, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah, dude. I think Dumbledore would have taken him out.
I think he means you mean Jason Isaacs.
Jason Isaacs. Why did I say it? Like that's totally different actor.
George Costanza great. George Costanza was great as Lucius Malfoy.
He was awesome. I think it was on my mind because I fucking watched that McDonald's commercial he was in on Twitter. Yeah, same difference. Same difference. The other thing, Dobby, dude. So the death of Dobby in Deathly Hallows still hits. It does, but not 100th as much as it did in the books. For how much Dobby is in the books that they just cut him out.
You get so much in Goblet. Yeah. So you get so much more Dobby stuff, which we need Dobby stuff. Dobby stuff is great. Yeah. Although I do think that scene is really good. And
it's really good.
I think Daniel Radcliffe gives an incredible performance, like when that happens and seeing that little puppet Dobby, like looking up with no life in his eyes, and then Luna coming over and everything. It's good. It's a good moment. I mean, it's a terrible moment, but it's a moment that evokes a lot of emotion.
Wasn't it supposed to happen at night in the book? Because you can see the starlight and
I think so. Yeah.
No, but Dobby does so much in previous books to help out. Well, he's not in Goblet of Fire at all, and like. He helps Harry a lot. Well, through
Neville gets that job in
Neville gets that job, yeah.
Neville gets also in Order. Dobby is the one who knows about the Room of Hidden Things,
yes,
or whatever, which is where he's stashing Winky's used butterbeer bottles there.
Yeah,
can't just throw it away, Dobby. You can't just magic it out of the way. You got to find a way to stash Winky's bottles. But yes, and that goes to Neville as well, who randomly walks by and finds it. So. Yeah, Dobby kind of gets done dirty. And Creature, like creature's tale is one of, I think, an incredible chapter
Yes.
in Deathly Hollows.
Yes.
Look, the movie's cut out, I think, a lot of big things about Voldemort's backstory and a lot of details specifically about the prophecy. Like, we only get about half the prophecy in the movie, which obviously, once he knows what
Yeah.
it is something that weighs so heavily on Harry throughout the next 2 books and what should be the next 3 movies.
And
So
well,
there's so much more room to expand on
and
a
they
lot of
don't
these
get
very
into like
important things.
that it like Voldemort marked his enemy. It could have been Neville.
Mhm.
It easily could have been Neville or any other wizard born on that day, but he marked Harry. And then, like, yeah, again, leaving the house, like, spew is not my favorite thing in the world. It's really fucking kind of annoying if you know what spew is.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, but we lost so
Society
much.
Promotion of Elfish Welfare.
Yes,
I
but
think it's what it is, yeah.
through that we lost so much Fred and George, like how they get all their food, and they were just friendly with the house elves, and like, yeah, if you get in the kitchen, they'll give you whatever the fuck you want. It's like, it's great.
Yeah.
And
Like,
everybody's resistance to like the freedom of the house elves is so funny.
I
It's like they like being slaves.
yeah. Like, imagine how that works with a black Hermione.
I
Like,
know.
and that's what people don't think about when you wanna race swap a character. The idea of the only person that cares about the freedom of these slaves is the little black girl, and you just make fun of her and mock
The
her.
whole
Like,
time.
come on, like, you can't turn Hermione black, it makes no sense.
That is gonna
Uh,
be funny as shit.
and it's wild. But, like, one of the things I think we lose out on is the conversation with Dumbledore and Harry at the end of Order of the Phoenix. And
Yes.
I think that chapter is one that always stands out to me, and it's very emotional and moving and chilling in a way when Dumbledore finally reveals all the things that he's been hiding from Harry and why he's been hiding those things. Like when Dumbledore's crying and asking if he can forgive him for like not wanting to put this on Harry's shoulders because Dumbledore got too attached to Harry, basically. You
Yep.
know what I mean? Didn't want to tell him at the end of his first year, you're far too young. And when you're 12, is that really another better year? I could have told you then. And then I just seen you, save your godfather, but lose your godfather. And I didn't want to tell you then. And then you had just survived more than anyone could have ever possibly expected when Voldemort returned. And I couldn't tell you then. Like, that's so powerful when he's talking to Harry about why he's different, when he's talking to Harry about like, regardless of whether there is a prophecy or not, you would fucking fight because that's who you are. And that's why you have to, that is a great chapter
Yes, it
and one
is.
that we get basically no sense of that
None.
in the movie,
They wrap
which
it up
is,
way too fast.
yeah, it's wrapped up way too quickly in the movie.
Agreed. Just wish POA didn't have the HM fashion for students. Should be wearing wizard clothes for uniforms. Otherwise, it would be perfect. But imagine being someone who saw a Goblet of Fire after the first 2 movies. It was quite a shock.
I don't mind as they get a little older, them constantly trying to relax their schoolwear and stuff. You know, there is something where they're like constantly wearing Muggle clothes and stuff like that that feels a little strange when they get to like that portion of some of the movies.
Yeah.
But I do like, look, the idea of them aging up and becoming teenagers and wanting to do something else and like loosening their ties and rolling up their sleeves, trying to stand out. I get that. In class, they should probably all look the same though.
They should now, and yeah, and they got rid of the pointy hats.
Yes, very quickly.
Cillian, thank you for the 20. I appreciate it. Fact Daddy, 2 versus 7 for $5. All 7 of my kids love Harry Potter. The only book they have to read with me is what? POFA.
Prisoner of Azkaban.
Prisoner of Azkaban. Sorry. I never thought of it like that.
Me neither, yeah.
Best book. It's when everything becomes real and sets up the rest. Yes, and that's why Ryan and I were talking with the audiobooks. It's we want to get through the first couple, but I think this one is where things start really getting going. And yeah, Goblet's the one I've reread the most, I would say, out of all of them. But Prisoner of Azkaban, I love Sirius Black, so I love the introduction. I could have used more of them, but it's fine. And it really does kind of set the tone, like, oh, he's just not going to beat Voldemort with a game of chess or randomly stabbing a book. It's going to be a lot harder. Instead of making thank you, Mikey Gussler, for the 5. Instead of making the worthless TV show, they should have went back to the films and released the TV long cuts of the films. So much was filmed. I do not know why they have not re-released those. It's not like any of it makes all of them better. You can put out some really expensive steel book collection that has all you can buy the first 2, but it's only in Blu-ray in those Harry Potter special editions, which are great. They come with the cards and the booklets, and they look like books on your shelf. Have you seen those, Ryan?
I don't know if I've seen those. I remember when those DVDs first came out and they had the games you could play on there.
Yep.
Like you were like going through the Forbidden Forest. You like chose a direction. You had to like tap the right brick in Diagon Alley to like get into a certain scene. Like I did really like those DVDs, special discs or whatever.
Yeah. God, I forgot what they're called, but I have them right out there. But they're you get the director's cut of the first 2, and you get a bunch of cards and a ton of special features on them. Goblet of Lore, 3/5 Blood Princes. I'm out. Mexi Rage. Harry, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire? He said, what did he say? He said quietly.
Dumbledore said calmly.
Calmly, yeah. So Harry Potter is great and all, but the big plot question: why don't the workers in Gringotts have curly sideburns and little hats? Well, there's a lot of people who think they're Jewish, and that's the same kind of people who probably think black people are orcs. How about that he/him man trailer?
I'm gonna be real. I think there's a big overreaction to the pronouns thing. I think it's played as a joke. We're talking about he-man with he/him pronouns. Like I think it's supposed to be a joke, especially when you factor in the idea that clearly, look, it's just a trailer. And certainly in this era, it could be an actual woke like propaganda thing. The way I took it was a joke. Also combine that with the fact that the people, he's clearly miserable at work, and the people he's in charge of are telling him, hey, you're in all this weird shit, you're all this nerd shit, makes people uncomfortable. Like clearly he's not happy there. So I think people are overreacting a little bit to it. Like it is a he/him pronoun joke about he-man. Like
and he's working in an HR department.
Yes. Yeah.
So I think it is a joke. Hang on for that one. As far as the rest of the trailer, it looks like
I like the Eternia stuff. I think it looks like kind of goofy and like it could be fun. I don't like the real world stuff at all. I hate the idea of part of it being set in the real world. So I like half the trailer, didn't like half the trailer. It's kind of how I felt about it. But I'm not a big He-Man fan, so I don't know.
Yep. Same here. Hail the Fellowship. I've been listening to the full cast books, which the first intro to them, and I've got a controversial opinion about the first book. The movie is better. Azkaban movie felt like a shell. So you think the first movie is better than the book? First movie's pretty good.
It is good. I mean, it's nice seeing everything come to life. I don't know if I could say the movie's better, but it's really good.
The books are always better, in my opinion, and that goes for The Lord of the Rings as well. I can't think of the only thing that I've seen that I think is better than the book, and this might be somewhat controversial, is Altered Carbon Season 1. I thought it was better than the book.
I didn't read the book, so
but
I did watch season 2 and it was shit.
It was terrible. It was terrible. But Azkaban is Yeah, it's still the best made movie. Alphonse Cuarón is like a real director and gave it a style that kind of stuck with, except for Mike Newell. He just went completely opposite with it. But just the editing and directing and the shots is it's art. It's actual art. They made art out of a Harry Potter movie.
You know what I hate about Prisoner of Azkaban movie?
What's that?
The very beginning when Harry is using his wand and is casting Lumos to read under the covers.
Yeah.
When he would have, and like an entire plot point is that he uses magic and is worried he's going to get
Yeah.
expelled because of that 2 seconds later. I hate that. I hate it so much.
They kind of forgot. Although he does use Lumos, but he was already in trouble, so he didn't care. But he does use
the Dementors in order.
No, in Azkaban, when after he takes off from the Dursleys' house, he does light like that's where he sees
to
Sirius.
Try to see Sirius. Yeah.
He thought he saw something like next to a garage. But at that point, and I think they even bring it up, it's like, I'm already in trouble, so fuck it, who cares? You know?
Yeah, he's like thinking about bewitching his trunk so he can fly his broom to London and everything. Yeah.
Think about living life on the run. But hey, all opinions are welcome here. I love all the voice actors except Trelawney. And Snape is mid. Snape is mid. I was fine with Trelawney. I was fine with it. But Emma, that's going to be tough to top, and they shouldn't try. And that's their whole justification for casting Snape was, well, we want to be different from Alan Rickman. Well, I mean, just find a different guy that looks like Snape instead of just being like so literally different from Alan Rickman.
Yeah, I agree.
Quagmire, thank you for the $5. Why did Barty Crouch Jr. quit drinking? Because it was making him moody. Thank you for the $5.
Yeah, and some people are saying, no, he used Lumos in the book. No, he does not. He's using a flashlight. He is doing his homework under the covers in secret, but he's using a flashlight.
Mikey Gussler for $5. You asking why Lupin wears drabby clothes is asking why Steven Tyler and Johnny Depp dress like hobos. It's a fashion style. People have tastes. Okay. Lupin doesn't strike me as the guy who's like hip to fashion, but okay.
I think he's wearing rags, like because he's poor. I think that's the implication.
Yep.
My question is, why can't he just reparo that shit if it gets torn? Why does he need to patch it? Why can't he just reparo? I don't
know. Pretty much every Brit actor was in the movies and the audiobooks, but Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart. Who knows? They might have asked him.
Seems like it.
Bloodline Films for $9.99. You're not wrong. Walder Frey is Filch.
Yes, he is. He's a good Filch.
He's a great Filch. People like Rachel Leichman are why Marvel, DC, Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who, Stranger Things, and the Western animation industry are in shambles.
There's probably going to be a Mary Sue article tomorrow about how only not real Harry Potter fans are mad about Black Snape.
Yep.
Based on this live stream.
Yep. Apparently she's paying attention like a lot. I mean, not as much as she pays attention to the fridge, but you know. What's the matter, you? For $10 says HPB movie was unbelievably bad. Half-Blood Prince. But it had the best music. Dumbledore's death mass oozed and radiated under sorrow. Harry and Ginny's love song was ethereal. Pity these were wasted on a crap movie.
Yes, like I agree with the Dumbledore theme.
That
like,
is good.
Yes. Theme is a fantastic song. It hits pretty hard.
I think we're God dang it, who did the I'll find out. Who did music for
Harry and Ginny's love song? I don't know if that one particularly, like, just thinking about it, That doesn't like jump to my mind when I think about it. So I'd
Nicholas
have to
Cooper.
Nicholas Cooper.
Nicholas Hooper did the music. So
Hooper.
what I had a problem with him is the incidental music and the action music. It just didn't match what was there before with John Williams and what came after with Alexander Desplat. I still think it felt like a very muted movie. But that might be Yates. That might be Yates. What would be your method of transportation of all the options in Harry Potter? I'm picking flu powder.
I'm apparating 100%.
Apparating? There's the fun one and the practical one, because I'd apparate for practicality, right? But flying a broom around would be kind of fun.
That would be cool. Like, see your buddy down the street or something. I'd fly a broom. I'm not flying a broom across like England.
Yeah, that sounds cold.
Or you could just like fly actually like Voldemort.
Yeah.
And Snape.
That
tells you what a like crazy good wizard Snape is.
That opening scene in Deathly Hallows is pretty good, where he's flying into Malfoy's manor.
It may the one of the problems with flying in the movies is that everyone flies in the movies, or it looks like they're flying when they like that's how they're doing the apparition.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And they're very specifically color coded for like, oh, evil people are black. Evil people are black. Good people are white. At least in terms of what it looks like when they're apparating. But I get for the movies, I get
that
it.
Really shows in order, in order the good people. Wow, JK. I would say the biggest weakness of the books are the romances, especially Harry and Ginny. Felt rushed, and they were only together for a chapter.
I like Harry and Ginny in the books a lot.
Yep.
They were only together right at the end there. However, that has been building over that entire book. It's building. But even beyond that, there's so many little things I would say specifically in order and in the early parts of like Half-Blood that are like hinting at that and hinting that it's something that's on Harry's mind at this point in time. So I don't know if Harry and Ginny feels rushed. I think they're talking about Harry's feelings and the beast inside him and stuff like that, and how the beast starts to purr, like when he's thinking, like they're talking about it for a long time, until they finally do kiss.
And Ginny's got a crush on him from day one.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Sends
but
him
like
a little
even things,
card.
like even things in order, especially because Ginny is such a big part of the DA and everything. When you reread it, like it is obvious that Ginny does not like it wants to keep Harry away from Cho to some extent.
Yeah.
Like it's very obvious when you reread it. So I don't think it's rushed.
They only give one sign of that in the movies. Like one, when they're walking on the bridge and
Cho couldn't keep her eyes off you.
Yeah. And she goes,
Yeah.
I know a lot of people say Harry should have ended up with Hermione. I don't.
I don't either. I like Ron and Hermione like each other so early on in the books.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't hate it if they ended up together, certainly. But yeah, I like Hermione and Ron. I know there's people watching that are diehard Harry Hermione stans. They'll never let it go. I get it. I get you like their little dance in Deathly Hallows. I get it. But I'm Hermione and Ron. I like them.
Call it Fireside Fantasy. Y'all can talk Game of Thrones too. We might do a separate. Well, we have one right now. I had ideas of doing a Game of Thrones live stream for a long time until I realized George wasn't going to finish the books.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, fuck that. Have you ever read it in the order, the boiled leather? Or have you ever read Feast for Crows, and A Dance of Dragons.
Like,
The boy,
like the chronological of what you're.
chronological,
I've never done it, no.
yeah, from Boiled Leather. It's really good. It really does work.
I mean, that's how it was written. Like, it probably
Yeah.
does, but yeah, I've never read it that way.
Dude, I've reread the book so many fucking times. I've done it like I've gone back and just read Tyrion chapters. Like I've done it by character.
What's the worst ones?
Oh, fucking anything with Dorne. Anything with Dorne sucks balls.
At least they kept that consistent for the show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We're gonna avenge our uncle by killing his brother and his nephew. What the fuck?
Because he's not doing anything quick enough.
Jesus Christ. No, I know that's how Preston Jacobs got big, is the Dorne master plan.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah. Screw Dorne. I like the suggestion, not mine, of Nargles with Attitude as the show title. But for my own suggestion, how about Pissing in the Pensive?
Pure Bloods and Pensive.
Nargles with Attitude, or we could go a little lighter and be Muggles with Attitude, but it's not bad. Matt Berry looks like a British Brandon Herrera. He does. He does, Double Hawk. Thank you for the $2. The High Wizard and XCon. XCon. Thank you for the $2. Magnus Lord. Mikey Gussler for $2. I hope the Harry Potter series is this. Oh, I hope the Harry Potter series fail.
I mean the TV show.
Yeah, the TV show. I don't know if I hope they fail. I think they will not have the impact that they would have with Black Snape. That was really just a dumb fucking move.
Yeah, it's the frustrating part, is it could be so good and it's going to have that black eye, no pun intended, on it.
Yeah. And nobody would have complained about it. Not a single person would have said this isn't diverse enough. And nobody that matters.
Right. Especially when you have the expanded roles for guys like Dean Thomas and Lee Jordan and Angelina, and Kingsley.
No, we'll get the Lee Jordan play-by-play of Quidditch, which is fucking great, especially in Azkaban, when he's basically when McGonagall's like, "Are you sponsored by the Firebolt?"
Yeah.
Yes.
But then and she's shitting on him, but by the end, Lee's cussing out Malfoy, and McGonagall's right there shaking her fist at him, basically.
Not even correcting him.
Her hat's falling off her head and stuff.
What up, Gary? Hey, Ryan, been waiting for this. Oh, Daniel Moore Business.
Nice.
Well, this is going to be, again, basically a book club leading up to the series. We're, of course, going to talk about the series when it comes out. It's going to be huge. The build up to that is going to be huge. Huge. Filthy Mudbloods book club. I'm a Hufflepuff, so my opinions don't matter.
You're damn right. At least you know your place.
At least you know your place. You're the everybody else.
Yeah, literally, that's what Sorting Hat says. And Hufflepuff said, "We'll take the rest."
We'll take
loyal.
Must
loyal
contain must contain variant of podcast. See ya at MegaCon. See ya at MegaCon. Coming up. Coming up. Muggle Talk, straight out of Azkaban. Thank you, Nathan Cassidy, for $1.99. La Jamon? Aberforth and Filch. Aberforth and Filch.
Should be the podcast name.
Nerdpodic and Ryan, I guess. Just kidding, Ryan. This is Daniel Moore Business for $1.99. Thank you for the $2.49. Appreciate it. Think of the time turner like a duplicator. It doesn't change time or allow you to change anything. It allows you to be in two places at once.
Yeah, that's kind of the way, if it happened, it has to happen. That's the way I think about the time turner logic.
It's a good description. I like it. Willie Watch, 10 for $5. You guys, if you haven't seen them yet, look up Barry Trotter and the Shameless Parody by Michael Gerber, Total Insanity. He did Star Wars books too. I will check it out. Have you heard of that?
No, it's funny though.
12-foot Tennis for $2. Ryan Kinnell and the Prisoner of Folsom. Yeah, if I went to Alcatraz, it could have worked, but it wasn't open at the time.
That would be good. Yeah.
Yeah. Can't wait for Harry Potter and the 10 Years Wasted. Hope I am wrong. Oh, for the series? Yeah.
Well, he's got the books.
Comic accurate, Joe? You might not be, though. Old Man and the Seaman.
Don't know if that works with Harry Potter, but it is an interesting suggestion.
It is funny. Single Guy Cooking 2010. Thank you for the $2. Harry Pothead and the Spliff of Bliss, 420. Yo. The Taskdop and of what is this? The Taskdop of Erist. Erised. Jesus. Okay.
Play on the mirror. So he's
Erised, the mirror of Erised. Okay.
So Erised is just desire spelled backwards. So he's giving you the Taskdop, which is podcast backwards.
Podcast. Okay.
So that means the podcast of desire.
You have to explain things to the old man. Okay.
Yeah.
You really do. Thank you, Snacks. Thank you for the $2. That's a great point, Ryan. Says Comic Accurate. Joe.
I imagine it was.
Do either of you ever do the American School?
The Ilvermorny?
No.
Now, I've never done that quiz. I think what is the Thunder whatever bird? I don't even know the 4 houses for Ilvermorny. I'm not too into the American School lore stuff.
Yeah. Is that on Pottermore?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
I got into Pottermore, and then I don't know. I just didn't fully get. I would have rather it had been a book.
There's just so much random information on there.
Tons of it.
Mm-hmm.
Excited for these streams. Show title ideas. Mischief Managed. I did think about that one. I like, I solemnly swear that we are not up to no good, but that's too fucking long.
Kind of like the podcast that must not be named.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It is a long one. That is funny though.
Mischief Managed mostly, or Hogwarts, not Hollywood. See, it's not easy to think of a name because it's got to be short, to the point, and kind of speak to us talking about it. Hugo Award 2001 game, Goblet of Fire over Storm of Swords.
I can see why George would be mad.
That was it.
I've got the first edition Storm of Swords right here.
Yes, you do.
I can see why George would be mad. I do think that this is like his best work. And the fact that he did it in a year is even like crazier. But I also understand why Goblet of Fire won.
So it's 2001. So I know where to look for that post. I'll find it. Thank you, Hilltop Sleeper. Thank you for the $2. Appreciate it. If I remember from the commentary of Goblet of Fire, they have the boys grow their hair during off season and cut it before filming. So when they came, the director liked all of the long hair. No one else hated it. No one else hated. No one else hated.
No one else hate did.
Hate did.
No one else hate did.
Lost me there. I can't read regular English. Ever since I read and saw Harry Potter, I have always imagined a series or movie about the building of Hogwarts and the wizards from that time. What do you guys think?
A Founders series would be so cool.
It would be cool.
I think Salazar Slytherin, leader of my house, is severely misunderstood. I think
he did nothing wrong. Is that what you're saying?
Salazar Slytherin did nothing wrong. Did he have a basilisk in a secret hidden chamber that was maybe specifically meant to kill Muggleborns? Maybe. But I think that you have to go back to that time period and realize that the biggest threat to wizards was muggles.
Yep.
And the idea of opening up the school when you're being so protective, opening up the school to a risk like that in that era, I do think that that's something that they would have to think about. And it's not just about being hateful. It's not just about hating Muggleborns and shit. It's about the practicality and the secrecy of your race, for lack of a better term, like your people. So I think there's a lot of interesting shit to get into in a Founders series.
Yeah.
Now, personally, I think everyone wants a Marauders series more than anything.
Yep.
And I think that would be great. Imagine a Marauders series that maybe we get a couple years and we can do a couple times. We don't need to do all 7 years, right? But imagine a Marauders series that like leads all the way up to effectively like Snape overhearing everything after they're out of school. And like the last shot of the Marauders series is like just a sole shot of Godric's Hollow and Voldemort walking up, going in, and you just see like a flash of green, and like that's the end of the Marauders series. Like, I think a Marauders series could be really cool.
But remember what J.K. Rowling said about prequels. They're all inherently tragedies. And but I still think it would kind of work. And I bet you she's been approached a million times about it, because that's what the fandoms wanted like all along.
Yeah.
Best way to explain Harry Potter plot holes, inconsistencies is it operates on fairy tale logic, largely because J.K. Rowling is not a fantasy nerd at all.
But there, most of the things that I talk about or point out, I don't think they're really big deals at all. Like the economy and like what stuff costs. I don't find that to really be that big of a deal. I think it's fun to talk about.
Sure.
Like the things I do care about on some level are like the retcons that clearly happened of, you know, how long they were under the Fidelius charm and things like that. And not because it ruins it or anything. I just think it's very clear that what we just got described in Prisoner is very different than the reality of all the things we learn to know in the future. And I think that's okay. And I think you can change your mind, and I think you can fudge some of that stuff, and it's okay. But I just think it's worth pointing out.
Thank you, Nathan Cassidy, for the $4.99. Wolfsbane for $1.99. Everybody else hated it. Sorry about the typo. It's okay. You didn't have to give another super chat. I probably would have read it wrong. See, I would have read it wrong anyway. Also, I'm a special ed teacher. It's applicable here. Saint Cimmerian. Today, I sorted my students into one of the 4 houses through personality questions. It was fun. Oh, that's good.
I bet all like the really rough ones were in Hufflepuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, admit it.
Daniel Moore Business 199 for €5.99. Ollivander is centuries old. Inflation would make him rich without even taking anything else into account. Probably. Yeah. Being around a long time helps. Hail Familia. Where are my Ravenclaws at? See ya. Says Sophie Chronicles. What's up, Sophie?
I think there's a lot of Ravenclaws in chat.
There is.
Seems like it. Everyone wants to think they're smart, you know.
But beyond measure, this man's greatest treasure.
The truth is, Gary, there's not a lot of people that identify as Hufflepuffs, but there's a lot of people that actually are Hufflepuffs out there. You know
what you're saying.
That's the reality. I have respect, like, as much as I don't respect anyone in Hufflepuff, I have some respect for you acknowledging that you are in Hufflepuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Comic Accurate Joe for $5.99. Harry Podcast and the Book Club of Nerds. We are nerds. Podcast platform 99 3/4. That would be, why not just say 199 3/4? That'd be Ryan's favorite. Flint. We know he loves the 199. Thank you for the $10. HP Alpost. Yeah, clever. Kaiser Jaeger, thank you for the $2. Hilltop Sleeper for $5. Eat your heart out, Rolling. Maybe you have billions of dollars and my Hugo, but you don't have readers like these. This should be his Hugo response.
He can't say anything anymore.
Yeah. He might have had a point back then, but he doesn't now. Imagine we had intelligent people in film and TV who could actually add to the books. The Antiquary for £5 proper money. Imagine. The encyclopedia was supposed to explain the exact process for making Horcruxes. It was supposedly so gruesome when J.K. Rowling told her editor they wanted to puke. Seen some interesting yet twisted fan theories, though. Says Elite Neo for 20. Thank you.
I don't think we've ever got a definitive answer as to what the Horcrux making process is, but yeah, like that is all we know, that it was like so disgusting and vile they wouldn't allow her to put it in there. And so a lot of people have speculated whether it has something to do with like necrophilia, like killing someone and like having sex with their dead body. There's people that have speculated something cannibalistic about it or whatever, but we don't know what the actual process is that you have to go through after you kill someone to like make a Horcrux. I doubt it'd be necrophilia. I don't think Voldemort can get hard.
I don't think he cares about it.
Yeah. That's why he never had a baby with Bellatrix, by the way.
It might have been her teeth. These films cut a lot, like a lot of other films, because you're going to get a lot of people saying it's too long. Audiences need to stop complaining. They never will, though, Mikey. They never will. Was the Batman versus Superman director's cut, was that too long?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. The day Deathly Hallows came out, my mom took me to Barnes & Noble's at Foxwoods. She flipped to the epilogue, ran out of the store yelling very loudly, Ginny and Harry have kids. I don't have a great relationship with her.
Oh, fuck off, Mom.
20. Jesus, Mom. Podcast Muggles Talk Magic. This is Comic Accurate Joe for $5.99. Thank you. Kinnell and Crookshanks questionable Pottercast. Oh, Crookshanks, man. He was right all along in Azkaban.
It is a nice scene at the very end when Ron gets the owl and immediately like lets Crookshanks make sure it's actually an owl. And not, but the voice acting in I forget if it's Mooney Wormtail, Pathfoot and Prongs or whatever, whichever chapter it is where they actually or maybe it might be Voldemort's servant when they transform him and he's like sitting around there begging and Ron hasn't said shit and he's just like, I let you sleep in my bed. And like the voice acting for that was spot on.
It was really good. Too hard to handle for $5. Stupefied. Dan can do a cover of Disturbed's song Stupefy as the theme. That would require Dan to work.
Yeah.
NPC Otter for $1.99. $1.99 and the 3/4 it is.
I don't like that.
The accidentally left open tabs of Dumbledore. Taker 610.
I meant to put that on incognito, Harry. Sorry.
I haven't read the book since I was a kid, but I love them to death. 4 and 6 were so amazing, but I don't really enjoy any of the movies much after 3. I think you guys convinced me to give them another read. You should.
There you go.
Or even listen to we're not advertising here. We just listened to them and they're really good. The fully cast audiobooks. And there's one coming out every month. I'm glad they didn't spread that out over years. I was wondering how they were going to do that.
I think 1 month is perfect.
Yep. They have the little countdowns going. Marauders
Barry was
-1.
for the binge model that they
Yes.
all get done, right?
Of course he would. Elric, thank you for the $5. Marauders -1. Through the Pensive podcast, Mischief Managed podcast, you know who podcast, Advanced Podcast Making, Department of Bigotry's podcast. Stone Cold's Beer Cooler, thank you for the $4.99.
Those are good ones.
2 wizards, 1 goblet.
That's pretty good. I don't know if we can name it that though. That's good.
North of the Rockies, that one's good. Wands After Dark. That's probably some gay fan fiction though.
There's so many fan fictions.
Random logo. Philip Johnson for $1.99. Show title: Gary Potter and the Angry Muggle. How do you know Ryan's a muggle though? Sparta Chris 01 for $5. Don't know if you've addressed this yet. What do you guys think about all the full cast audiobooks being released? We love it.
We've talked a lot about them, and overall, we really, really like them. A couple criticisms for some of the voice actors, but for the most part, it's really good. Net Stealer, what's up, Net Stealer, for $2? RK Hufflepuff and Nerdrotic Stuff. Don't like it. Yeah. Podcast name: The Bastard Wizards Hour. I am kind of a bastard. You are, yeah. I mean, technically. So, yeah. Robert Hayes, thank you. The name for the stream should be Finish the Song, Dan. Death Like Wolf for $1.99. Oh man, this is a proper butchery of my last name spelling. I love it. Or Beekler and Kinnell go to Hogwarts. Like I'd say Bokler. I was trying to read that, but yeah. Yeah, German spellings are stupid anyway. So I don't know how you get E out of UE, but they managed it. They managed it. Thank you, Robert Hayes. What saddens me is that Michael Gambon forgot he was Dumbledore before he passed. At least that is something I read and some news site before he passed. Yeah, didn't he have Alzheimer's? So. If you get old, you know. Yep. It's the least sad thing about having Alzheimer's, probably. Yep. TJ Krennic, thank you for the $5. Title idea: Muggle Mutt, the Muggle Mutt Hour. The Muggle Mutt Hour for $2. Never seen an ad. Never seen or read the Harry Potter books. Listening to the audio cast for this podcast, I thought you guys were going to go through it in order. You're all over the place, says Jose Taco. We are, but you mean the audiobook? We're just doing a kind of a starter stream. It was just to kind of get the thing established and get it started. Yeah. Let you guys know kind of what we're doing and everything. So we don't even have a title yet. Jose Taco. We are all over the place. Yes, you're right. Welcome to our Nerdrotic stream. Nicholas Hooper scored both Order of the Phoenix and Half-Blood Prince. Thank you, Gus, for the $4.99. Wildest thing to leave out in the Deathly Hallows movie is Voldemort's name is cursed. That's right. Death Eaters appeared to just randomly find the trio. The Snatchers. Yeah, so it feels like that they cut that part out. Because there's 2 instances where they go Voldemort, where, and he shows up and they don't really address it. And I'm trying to think if they address it in that extended version. I don't remember in the movie. Obviously in the book, they go into detail about how the name's tabooed and everything. And very luckily they hadn't been saying the name while Ron was gone. But yeah, Ron informs them the name's tabooed when they come back. What just happened? What did I do? Oh, you clicked something. What did I do? I was typing something. I do like the map in the back there, though. Yeah, I was trying to find something. Hopefully we can. I want to find one. I was telling you earlier.
of the Marauders map where we could see the little footsteps. I think that'd be good.
Peter
Good.
Pettigrew just sliding into bed with Ron. I love all the talk about like Fred and George saw like another man in bed with Ron for 2 years and just
didn't think about it.
to him. No wonder they bullied the shit out of him. That's actually very nice of Fred and George. To not reveal that secret about their brother that he sleeps with another man every night.
Very unlike them.
Right.
Xenophilius Lovegood said like Voldemort in Deathly Hallows and the Death Eaters show up.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
It does happen.
How well would Harry Potter work as an animated series? I always thought one should be made, and so did Steven Spielberg. I think it'd probably work really well.
You could definitely do it. I definitely think live action is. If we could get a great live action one, that'd be awesome. But
yeah, the thing with animated series cost too damn much to make for what they bring in, and that's always been kind of the problem with them. And it's live action is always just going to get more attention, but you never know. Maybe they can AI one.
They're changing a lot, and the appeal of anime is so massive now, and we understand that. You can have things like K-pop Demon Hunters do massive on Netflix, but like in general, you are kind of correct about at least Western entertainment in general.
And it's the Western viewpoint. It might not be right, but that's their viewpoint, and that's why we don't get more animated stuff, and that's why we lost a lot of good cartoons back in the day, because it just got too expensive for what it was bringing in. Thank you, Vladimir. Snake Oil Sean for $10. Hail, Gary and Ryan. I spotted a mistake rewatching A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Lionel Baratheon's sigil has a crown around the stag's neck that shouldn't appear until Robert takes the throne.
Really?
Yeah.
It's interesting. I think one of the reasons we end up seeing so many inconsistencies in the Game of Thrones shows is because I think they reuse a lot of the heraldry and stuff from old things. So it wouldn't surprise me they just grabbed some Baratheon stuff and they didn't catch it. I think that's why we continue to see problems with the dragons and the inconsistencies with the number of feet they have. Is because I think they reuse a lot of shit.
Yes.
And the fact that you can have people like Glidus that can do a full breakdown of all the things that are fucked up, but you have no one working on the show that could do that is kind of weird.
Kind of crazy.
Yeah.
When you can hire somebody like Glidus and just to give notes. But the thing is, they see
put his autism to use. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But they see that as a distraction and obstruction to the creative process. But George was on the fucking set. He could have gone, yeah, you got this wrong.
He'll complain about it in a blog post a year from now when he has a falling out with Ira Parker.
Yeah, he'll say he never took my notes 6 months after they'd finished principal photography. Patrick Doyle's score for Goblet of Fire is my favorite. Okay. I think John Williams for Azkaban is my favorite. Mikey. Hey, Gary, have you read my letter yet? Not yet. Not yet. I'm going to wait to read it before I send the packages out. We're getting it together because we have to. He sent me wonderful gifts, and I have to send a couple to Az and Mahler. And FedEx ain't cheap sending stuff to UK, so I'm like, I'm going to throw some extra shit in there to make it worth it. I've been sitting on some comics I have to send to Mahler and some stuff I have to send to Az, so it works out perfectly. Thanks, Mikey. Prisoners of Azkaban. Autistaband. Sorry, Autistaband.
Autistaband.
I was like, not Azkaban, not Austin, Texas. Fat Socks says next Trek review, have the opening thing of Starfleet cut to Dunk's explosive shit. If YouTube would allow that, I couldn't show his bare ass. I could probably show the shit.
I don't know if you can show the shit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have an idea for that intro already. I talked about it on my watch party. It's so bad.
I haven't watched that. I got to watch for FNT. So.
Oof. It's an hour and 2 minutes long, and you feel every second of it. I'm literally an NPC according to the hat. Laugh my ass off, says B Chain. Ginny used a love potion and just wanted the money, says Eric K. the mod.
She wanted to get into Harry's vault.
Yeah, it does have a lot of money. After seeing what happened with the Star Wars trying to break out of the Skywalker story, do you think the world could support a story without the Potter, Dumbledore, and other names well-known or other well-known names? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Look, the first Fantastic Beasts movie did very well, money-wise. And there was no, like, I think Dumbledore was mentioned or whatever, but I don't even think Jude Law appears in that. He doesn't appear to the second one.
No.
Crimes of Grindelwald. So in theory, yeah, but it'd never do as well as like the mainline stuff will. I think if you did a low budget thing, I think you could. I think in theory you could do something like that, but it just, you can't expect it to get the same return that everything else would.
Yeah. Yeah. If you wanted to expand it and think you could reach the heights of Harry Potter, you would not. And that's what Disney's going to find out with Star Wars too. It's like you probably make something of edge. They might fall into something accidentally that's good, but it will never, ever, ever reach the heights of the original trilogy or the prequels. Rise of Merlin came out. You guys watching?
I am going to watch the Pendragon cycle at some point. All the promotional stuff looked really good for it, honestly. So I am going to watch it at some point in time.
Name the podcast. Grindelwald was right.
That's a good one.
Nicholas Rage for $4.99. As I grow older, I drift from being drawn to Ravenclaw to Gryffindor. Also, Rowling finished her books, George.
And she had a plan for the whole thing. Like, obviously that changes as you write and stuff, but she had a plan and an outline that she stuck to. So,
Ryan Bailey, thank you for the $5. Oi, mate. Did you hear Cho transitioned last summer? Blimey, yeah, Cho changed. Luckfeld. Cho changed. Some of my students were Hufflepuff. Shrug. Say Saint Simran.
I believe it. I believe it.
Friends of Dobby podcast name. Poor Dobby.
Friends of Creature. I like Creature.
Of course you do.
Filthy mudbloods and blood traitors. My mistress. Yeah.
Oh, what would my mistress think of this?
Yeah. And like the mudbloods talking to Creature.
I know.
I love Creature. Creature's awesome.
It's funny. Never thought there'd be so many Harry Potter shippers here.
I don't know about shippers, but
I don't know about shippers. Yeah.
Probably got some though.
The Crimes of Kindelwald or Secrets of Beekler Door. I like Kindelwald. I do like that one. That's pretty good.
Crimes of Kindelwald.
The Bigotry of Magic. We just call it Gringotts is run by the Jews.
Yeah, that would work.
Yeah, that would work.
Draw on a weird crowd, though, I think.
Yep. We really get that Nick Fuentes fucking Harry Potter fandom.
They exist, I'm sure.
They probably do. The Ministry of MAGA. That's D-Day Cobra will be on later.
Yeah.
Cobra Cast. Daniel Moore Business, thank you very much. Wesley Killington for $2 says Nerwart School of Griftcraft and Bigotry.
A lot of bigotry gets worked into these things.
Why are they saying that? I don't understand it. I don't understand why they're saying that.
Wizardry, bigotry, yeah.
Podcast name Kicked Out of 3 Hogwarts. There you go, Nathan Cassidy. There you go. Metal Man Amanda's for 20 says, hey, Gary, what shows would you suggest downloading for when the ice storm knocks out power? Already watched Landman, Mobland, Tulsa King. Thanks. Ooh.
Let's get the Taylor Sheridan trifecta. Get married Kingstown.
Yeah,
Not trifecta. You've already got 3, but
I got to still watch that Metal Man of Madness. Yeah, we're supposed to. Dude, we had panic buying at our fucking HEB today, dude. And
really, is it supposed to be that bad by you guys?
So we got an ice storm coming, right? But I think it's just everybody's still shocked for the freeze that they had 4 or 5 years ago.
It's in Dallas or wherever, where all that stuff
happened all over the state, the entire state. The grid got knocked down. And with ice storms, as you know more than me, when the ice builds up on the power lines, it just snaps them. We got plenty of food around here, so I'm not worried about it. But my wife said like HEB was just fucking packed today. Yeah, it's gonna get down to like 19 degrees, so I'm not like super worried about it. Maybe I should be. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's gonna be that cold. I was in like 10 below zero in fucking Wisconsin. They were.
I want to put your faucets on a drip. I don't know how well rated your house is for that. Just so the pipes don't freeze.
Probably. Well, we put the towels around them. Does that work really, or is that just some fucking wives' tale?
Not really. Like, I don't know. I who fucking knows? But when I was living in a place that didn't typically get that, and when it did, I'd leave the faucets on a slight drip just to keep a little bit of running water through there, you know. But I don't fucking know. So when you're at a place that doesn't, right? Yeah, there you go. Ice storm. When you're at a place that doesn't, like none of the infrastructure is ready for it. That's why they had the problems in Texas. So it is what it is. All that global warming, you know?
Yeah. So I would download Last Samurai Standing on Netflix. It's fucking great. It's 6 episodes. Oh, so they have it's Japanese, right? So you can do your subtitles, or you can do the English dub, Ryan, and they AI the mouths to match the English.
And it looks okay?
It looks okay. You can see a little uncanny valley, but it works.
Better than having to read it.
You know? Yeah, I think I'm like, God damn, that's a pretty good use of AI.
I like to read books, not TV shows. That's my policy. Although I always have closed captionings on because my hearing sucks.
Last Samurai Standing is basically Squid Game with samurais.
Okay.
It's a little bit of a contest. They're offered 100,000 yen, which today would be $10. Drip them. Somebody says drip them. But I don't know if anybody in the chat's seen it, but it was really good. Really good. And we are going to get Mobland Season 2 this year. Pretty excited about that.
That's awesome.
Hogwarts History X. Oh, Hogwarts, a History X.
Hogwarts, a History X. History X of magic. We get bins in the TV show.
Yeah. Yeah. Who else do we get? Why am I blanking on his name now? Peeves. We're getting Peeves too, who's supposed to be Rick Mail, which would have been who passed away. He would have been so perfect for Peeves.
Would have been great. Yeah, Peeves is going to be awesome.
Yep. The guy who voices Peeves in the books are pretty good. Didn't Percy take showers with Pettigrew as well?
Bro, imagine Fred and George in their first and second year getting access to the Marauders map, seeing a grown man in bed with Percy, and then in their third year seeing that same grown man in bed with Ron and thinking, what the fuck is going on here?
Do we tell mom and dad?
Yeah. God.
Oh my. WB Animation is a shadow of its past. It botched Harry Potter's. It is. And that's why it's going to be sold to it looks like it's going to happen. Now, I don't know about government approval, but the sale is Ted Sarandos is going to Congress like next week.
Yeah, in a couple weeks or something to testify. Yeah.
I don't see, unless it gets legally stopped. I don't see how Netflix gets stopped from doing this. And if it's a monopoly conversation, they're not a monopoly. They're not even close. And they can use a lot of excuses. Like you brought up they can use YouTube.
YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. I think that's the argument that they'll use, that it won't be based on just the paid premium streaming services. They'll make, and I think it makes sense for them, even if it doesn't make sense. I think they'll make arguments based on screen time usage and the idea that Netflix is only about 7% of people's like screen time usage now. Like that's the arguments that
Yeah.
And I think it's relatively valid.
I think those will be successful arguments.
Yeah.
But we are talking about Congress, so we're not talking about the best of the best and the smartest people in the world. And
talking about the people who put everything aside for an investigation of steroids in baseball, you know?
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Bring back the steroids, by the way. The steroid era of baseball was the greatest era of baseball I've ever seen, period. It was so much fun. Sosa McGuire going for the record. That was fun.
That's how I like fell in love with baseball as a Cubs
Yeah.
fan, 10 years old, you know? Sosa McGuire, 98.
Caminetti was on steroids and coke and like throwing out dudes for sitting down. Poor guy.
The good old days.
Good old days. King Caminetti. It was great for a couple of years. Eric K, do you think Snape will mix up some purple drink? Well, he is the potions master.
He will be getting hammered to forget about Lily.
So polyjuice potion is just grape soda.
Yeah. And like I get it. I've been there. He's gonna be pouring down that purple drink to forget about his lost love, Lily. We've all been there.
You ever drink grape soda? Welch's grape soda?
I don't know if about Welch's, but I've definitely had grape soda.
Yeah. I did back in the day.
I like orange soda better than grape soda.
I love orange soda.
Yeah.
If I'm going to drink crappy soda, it would be orange soda. Broom service, says Tommy Kapari. Broom service. Ryan, read this one. Old man has to
Jake Foreman. So Ron gets a howler. If each of you guys would get a howler, what would it be for? What would be your favorite class if you went to Hogwarts? I'd be hard pressed to say like Defense Against the Dark Arts would probably be my favorite class. Like it's all going to depend on your teacher though. If you get Quirrell, fucking sucks. Lockhart fucking sucks. Lupin sounds like it'd be awesome. Moody, even if it's a fake Moody, sounds like it'd be fucking awesome. Umbridge, suck. Right? Even Snape. I feel like Snape probably would give a decent Defense Against the Dark Arts course. So you got about a 50% chance of it being okay. Why would I get a howler? I'd get in trouble, you know? I'd get in trouble in some way. Fucking my parents would send home a howler telling me to knock it the fuck off. Or I'd be truant. I was known for being a little bit truant on occasion in school. Comic Accurate Joe for $5.99. Hans Zimmer is one of my favorites. What do you think about the choice for the series? Hans Zimmer, I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with Hans Zimmer scoring the Harry Potter series. I really don't.
That's right. He's scoring that. I think that's a great choice. And it will be kind of like Mikey, gonna throw some love to the Man of Steel. So you're never gonna outdo the John Williams theme. It's one of the greatest themes of a movie ever, and it's the greatest superhero theme, period. But what Hans Zimmer was able to do with Man of Steel was unbelievable. That is such an epic soundtrack. I freaking love it. So, and it's right up there. I'm not going to say it's better than John Williams, but it's, as far as superhero themes, it's in the top 3.
It's great.
Yeah. It may be the second best. I think a lot of people will go to Elfman for Batman for the second best, most iconic.
It's really good. Like Elfman's Batman is like, we still think about it to this day. Like,
yeah. So I would say like my top 3 are definitely John Williams Superman, Elfman Batman, Hans Zimmer Man of Steel, and then Elfman Spider-Man, and then the Avengers theme.
The Avengers theme's really good.
And it's the only fucking Marvel theme that stands out of 32 movies. It's the only one that stands out at all.
Only one anyone could fucking hum, I think.
So you hit this one already. A comic. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, man. I've always thought simply that guy for $5. I've always thought that Fred or another Weasley should have died in the book 5 instead, to let the impact of the death show. More thoughts?
Sirius is pretty rough.
Yeah.
Especially like Harry deals with it multiple times, thinking that he's gonna come back and pop up and be okay. Thinking like then having to realize that he had the mirror in his fucking thing the whole time. He could have talked to Sirius and dealing with that. Then going to Nearly Headless Nick and talking about how Sirius could come back as a ghost. I think Death Hits pretty hard. Originally, I believe that JK was going to allow Arthur Weasley to be killed. And she decided not to. One of the reasons being that Arthur is one of the only like good actual fathers in the book.
Yes.
Like there are plenty of good father figures, but in terms of an actual father, and she didn't want him to die. She didn't want to take that away. Which
Garrett's here. Then he left. Quarter Black. Garrett, if you want to pop in, he probably wanted to be part of this because he knows Harry Potter pretty well.
Look at the little steps. Look at that. We got it. We got the Marauders map.
Oh, we did. Oh, look,
that's what he was doing. I think he uploaded the Marauders map. Thank you,
bless
Garrett.
you. We can make you part of these too, Garrett. Garrett's a big fucking Harry Potter fan. Hell yeah. Thanks, Garrett. Good looking out, man. He's all right. 3/4 of him is all right. 3/4. Never mind. I'm not going to continue that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some stuff
Platform 9 3/4 Black Garrett.
Expecto
pronounum. He, him, he, man.
He, him, and I think it's a joke.
I think at least we're understandably super sensitive to all that stuff, but I think for He-Man to be sitting there hating his life when he's like forced to display his pronouns as he, him, I think that could be funny. Like, we'll see. We'll see how it's done.
Yeah. Garrett, that is perfect. That's exactly what I pictured in my head. That is great. Now we need to do that with my Lord of the Rings map. Can we do a ring in the flame, like in the beginning of in the prologue of Fellowship? That'd be kind of cool. Or maybe it panning or something. I don't know. It's about time streaming. Now, StreamYards, work on your fucking audio. Jesus Christ. I learned in grade school to always start with an outline before you create anything literary. It was for creating essays, but the principle is the same, says TJ Crink for $5. Yes, it is. Ryan, when he sits down to make a video, he creates an outline in his head. He's already got, like, this is one of the rare talents that people don't talk about when you're doing Ryan's types of videos. That, like, Ryan's video is in his head before he starts, whether he even consciously knows that or not. He's got his tabs open. He's got his framework. Basically what I do, but I have to write all that shit down because I forget everything. So I have to write down my bullet points, right? Because you have to have a beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah. Like you have a story you want to tell, and like I know the couple things I want to talk about. I pulled a couple tabs up, and then I just go. But yeah, I guess in theory, I do know, like, in general, how I want the video to go and like what I want to leave people with. Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's in 4K right up here. I can see it.
4K. Yeah. So J.K. Rowling had the ending of Harry Potter locked up, written, done, locked up. And she always said, like, well, how we get there can change, but that's the ending. George had kind of an idea, but he calls himself a gardener. And I understand that. The problem is, like, you got to weed your garden, and he doesn't do that.
He just lets it grow and tries to follow the weeds around.
Yep. But yes, the principle is the same. Have your outline. Dukes of Hagrid, Muggles Blues, Asga-based, Buck Beekler and Ryan Claw, Chief Potter Officer and Prisoner of Folsom, White Snape.
The White Snape podcast.
The Snape is White podcast.
Snape is white, magic is might.
Yeah. The burrito of secrets. I have had 100 battles, many burritos of secrets. The burrito of secrets. Microaggretio Repello. Tommy Campari. The Ministry of Mad Gits. Deathly Homos.
Deathly homos.
Deathly Homos. Oh, thank you. A drunken camera beard. The Gorgonzola Ayatollah for $5.
He's good with names, apparently.
Yes. How about Whitcraft and Misery or something similar?
Yeah. I saw somebody said the Fox My Life podcast. That was good.
Yes. Virtue Signalium. Signalum. Sorry. I added an I in there for some reason. Thank you, Tommy Campari, for $1.99. Whitcraft and Misandry. The Gorgonzola Ayatollah. Weasley Welfare Watch. Hufflepuff Humiliation Hour.
Weasley Welfare Watch.
Gary Potter and the CEO of Ryanair.
I put my name in the ring. We'll see what happens.
I would vote for you. I would buy stock in that company because fat people have to pay double.
That's right. And old whores pay triple.
Well, okay, think about it. Like when you're, and we're not talking about chubby. We're talking about morbidly obese. And weight matters on a plane. These are things I think about because I'm deathly afraid of flying. So
apparently they do. If I'm fucking overweight on my bag, I got to pay more, right? So shouldn't fat people pay more? And just for the comfort of all around them, they get 2 chairs.
Well, you ever, okay. So yeah, having a fear of flying, I look into like all the things that can go wrong, like way too much. I'll just admit that it's part of my somewhat irrational fear of flying. When I'm flying on a plane, Ryan, I am never comfortable. I have more anxiety than I've ever had in my life in total when I'm on a fucking plane, and I just try to play it cool, but like I hate it.
A lot can go wrong, but at the same time, not a lot does. Commercial flying, you are like magnitude safer than on the road.
Oh yeah. And I know these things.
That's just,
I know these things, but I'm always thinking, but what if we're that one flight where a guy didn't tighten a bolt? I'll never forget. I'm working out in Encinitas at the time when that Alaskan airline crashed flying from San Francisco to LA or something like that. And the reason it crashed is because it was a big bolt, but one bolt came off like on the tail or something like that and just killed everybody. One fucking bolt. And I'm like, a bolt falls off my car. I'm probably going to live. Now I have no control over the drunk illegal immigrant or the just
drunk semi-driver, the fucking illegal semi-driver, whatever.
Or worse, just the fucking retarded semi-driver from India who thinks you could just pull a U-turn because they do that in their country all the time. I got a good look at that in Egypt. I got a good look on, how driving is different and how like acclimation to a culture is really important because the way they drive in Egypt works. It absolutely works.
If everyone's on the same page.
Everybody's on the same page.
Cities are like that too, like Chicago, right? Like Chicago traffic and LA traffic, both horrific. There's a difference. Chicago traffic.
Yes.
People will run you the fuck over and they will not care. LA, they might wait a little bit for you. Like, but traffic is terrible in both of those places, but there is a different vibe to traffic in Chicago versus traffic in LA. Like, yeah, it just is.
Well, that's why California drivers are much more dangerous somewhere else because they have much bigger roads and much bigger freeways and they drive really fucking fast. You come to Texas, the roads are smaller. The lanes are smaller. Everything's smaller. and you got to get used to it. And then the loop shit. But they drive really fast here in Texas, really fucking fast because we can, because we're in the free state of Texas. But Egypt, it's all lanes are not even a guideline. They're painted on the road, but nobody pays attention to them. So when you're cruising down the road, you're going pretty fast, but not too fast. And when you want to get somewhere, you hit your horn, and it's not like being a dick. It's like, oh, I'm over here and I'm moving. And you better move because I'm moving anyway. And everybody's just kind of used to that system, and it works. I didn't see an accident when I was there.
I think I would do well there.
You would do well there.
Once rather aggressive driver.
It took me a week to figure it out, but I'm like, oh, I could drive here. I could.
Yeah, I like it.
And no women on the road. So, there's that.
Whew, there you go. That'll help out with no accidents. No wonder.
I don't like how Lupin and the Marauders didn't reveal that they created the map in Prisoner of Azkaban movie. That one of the biggest complaints about the Prisoner of Azkaban movie was all the Marauder stuff that was left out.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'm not going to argue with you. Did you see the new MCU key art? Insane exclusions. I have not, Daniel Moore. The fact that Doctor Strange is not in Doomsday when it's literally about incursions, and the guy who would probably know the most about him where an incursion was happening in his last movie is kind of crazy.
That is weird.
Welcome to the winter weather. Grew up in Nova Scotia with snow over my head. Yeah, we get it like a weekend a year here. Lloyd Parsons, if that. They are not getting Snape's color right, but they will at least get Ravenclaw's colors and house animal right in the TV show. FYI, Ravenclaw's house animal is the eagle, and the colors blue and bronze.
Yep, the bronze is something they did not get right in the movie, and maybe they just wanted the aesthetic appeal, and I get that maybe. But
Stargate, Matthew Hammond's going to talk about Stargate. That's what Matthew Hammond does. Stargate has a few episodes on Prime to download. I thought they had the whole series.
Did they just have by a few episodes?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They have more than a few.
It's like 250.
Yeah. No, I'm watching Stargate. I really want to watch Star Trek to cleanse my palate after this, but I've been using Stargate instead. Netflix Tony Soprano for $49.99.
Thank you.
Can't watch live, unfortunately, but just wanted to jump on and say I love the idea of you two going in depth in Harry Potter. I'll catch you on the VOD. Hail. Yeah, nice. Remember, this is just a starter where we're just kind of shooting the shit.
That's right. We did go all over the place. I guess you are right when we talked about random Harry Potter shit. That is true. We'll be a little more when we go through the books.
Oh, we'll be focused when we go through the books.
We will. It'll be just in the first fucking chapter, there's a lot to talk about. That'll be okay, so what does this mean? Sirius was there when Hagrid was there. When did this take place? How long? Why did Dumbledore want to wait for fucking Harry? There's a lot of random stuff to talk about. In that. What happened to Voldemort's wand?
Hippo Geeks and Gamer Lows from Chunk the Punk for $2. Gents, this is cool that you're doing this, and thank you. Are the books only on Audible? Unfortunately, yes. They are not physical media, and they never will be, which is a fucking shame because I would have bought the shit out of these things.
I think you can find some old ones on tape. I don't know if you can buy any new, but definitely if you go to some used bookstores and stuff, they'll have them on occasion, CDs and everything.
Are you talking about the fully cast audio series
or the full cast are just digital? Yeah.
The audio books are actually, you can get Stephen Fry's Complete in a box set. I have it. It's really good. And all the Jim Dale ones and the Stephen Fry ones are all available on CD or Tortuga. And I'm sure the Audible one's available on Tortuga too.
Castbox probably have them. Yeah.
Ryan, sorry about Kyle Tucker. Dodgers are commies.
They're commies with a lot of money.
Yeah, I think they're really capitalist, to be honest with you. Yeah. Please don't Have the Wicked Girl be Voldemort. I'd be pissed. Ultimate Kathleen Kennedy movie.
I don't think that that's happening. I think
No.
that's always been a fake rumor, but
She is going to play Dracula, though.
you want to fucking ruin it? Go ahead. Like,
Yep.
God, that would give us a lot to talk about in a bad way.
Gary Potter and the 3/4 Black Prince. Tommy Campari for $1.99. The Snape Power Podcast. The Quibblers.
There you go.
Squibbas with an Attitude. Squibbas. The 813874 is probably supposed to spell something for $20. The Vitruvian Man werewolf image we see in POA when Professor Snape is teaching class is an image I want to hang up on my wall. Yes, that is in the movie. That it is pretty fucking cool. You could probably find one and make it. Sorry, I didn't show that one while I was reading it. There we go. Fat bottom girls, you make the plane go up and down, says Snex.
You have to pay more, though.
Got to pay more. Looking forward to all this while stuff dropping. Oh, I love the real life Jeremy Craigs for $2.
God.
Oh, my Lord. In Chicago, we have a point system for drivers based on who they run over. This is B-Buster. Dementor Diversity Disasters, Phoenix Prejudice Podcast, RK's Pure Blood Propaganda, Gary's Chamber of Secret Shame. There's no shame in my game.
Pure Blood Propaganda.
Sam Wilson is in front of Iron Man and Deadpool and Logan. Of course.
You haven't seen that new one yet.
I haven't seen the key art. Is it real?
I don't know.
Sam Wilson's not Captain America. All right, Ryan. Thanks for joining me today for this just random Harry Potter stream without a name, with unlikely people talking about Harry Potter. The most unlikely people on the internet, probably.
It's true. I think it went well, and I think people enjoyed it. So maybe we'll get some more. I think we'll get some people reading along with us in the upcoming things.
Yeah, we'll get this going. I'll figure out the free time. I'll figure it out, and I don't know if this will be on a set day, but we will figure that out if possible.
We'll probably have to figure out a set day, and your Thursdays probably don't work in general because movie releases and stuff like that upcoming. But we'll figure it out. We'll figure out a name, and we'll start grinding through the books. We got to go out and buy our new copies of books, Gary, and all that stuff.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh darn.
Yeah.
I'll probably get paperbacks, but yeah, I've got like some.
I think paperbacks for sure.
Yeah. I've got like the prestige adult copies. I've got I don't have
Nina Lima's. I've got the illustrated editions. I've got the OG releases. Those are up on my wall. So yeah.
They did. Did you see the adult ones they did?
Adult
in the
ones.
UK? Yeah. So they're the adult public. Hang on. I'll show you real quick before you go.
It's just like X-rated versions of McGonagall and Snape in there or something.
It was like McGonagall's vag and
like
everything.
Saggy McGonagall tits. That's what we all want to see.
I got to be careful, I guess, searching that.
Saggy McGonagall tits. I would be careful with that too. There's gonna be AI out there of it. You know that. The Stoned Philosophers. I don't think it works well for Gary.
No, it doesn't work well for me. God damn, really? They're $745. Dang. Here. These ones. I got to make sure I'm sharing the right thing. Here we go.
UK adult hardback. What does adult hardback mean?
They were published with specific covers that were not supposed to look like children's books.
Oh, okay.
These came out 15 years ago. They're good versions. They look nice on your shelf.
Looks nice.
Yeah,
I was thinking probably just like I think the most standard paperback ones I see now are the ones when they all form. It's like the Hogwarts castle in the back. You know what I'm talking about?
That's pretty cool.
Those are pretty cheap probably compared to all the other ones too.
Yeah. So we'll get that going and we'll let you know. Thanks everyone for joining us. Thanks to the Modrotics. Thanks to everybody who participated. Thanks to everyone who left a super chat donation. You help keep the lights on. Ryan, what do you got coming up?
More videos, and I live stream on Wednesdays and Sundays on my channel. Sports Wars, Geeks and Gamers, all that shit. You guys know how it goes. Well, maybe some of you don't. Maybe some of you randomly turn in because it's Harry Potter and you're thinking, what the fuck's going on?
I know. Well, I called it the Harry Potter live stream.
Like people are like, there's such finality to that title.
I don't fuck it. I got nothing. Dude, I have been rolling like being half sick for like a week. It's been
just trying to like fend it off.
Yeah. Been kind of a pain in the fucking ass.
Vitamin C, vitamin D.
Chugging all that stuff, soup, taking care of myself. But yeah, I'd rather be like full sick to get it over with. But this has just been like just kind of hanging on and being a bitch.
Nagging.
It's nagging, and it's not enough to like not live stream. It's fucking live streaming, whatever.
Nobody likes nagging, whether it's a wife or a sickness, you know.
Damn straight.
That's right.
Damn straight. So we'll see you tomorrow on FNT. We'll see if Robert shows up. And
oh yeah, Robert Meyer Burnett talk about Star Trek. That'll be fun.
Star Trek, and all the other fun. And we could probably compare Doomsday spoilers because you know
he's got different ones.
He's got like some light stuff. I don't want to like divulge how much he knows, but he probably know. I would guess he knows everything. But yeah, we could compare spoilers. It'll be fun. Well, thanks, Ryan. I appreciate you taking this much time
of course,
out of your evening. Awesome. And thanks, everybody. We will be doing this again. It was tons of fun. We appreciate you. See you next time.
Bye, everybody.